everybody, welcome to Esports Chat number 7. I am Panda, and I am here this week with Viv, who, I believe this is your third time coming on the
Yeah.
podcast, which is
Hello,
awesome.
hello.
This week, holy moly, not even the last 2 weeks, there have, the esports community, the
Has been shooketh.
YouTube community, I don't know what is in the air. I don't know what's going around, but something's happening. Um, we have a lot of topics to talk about today. Over the
This is probably
last
going to be one of our longer
2 weeks,
podcasts.
this is gonna be like if you plan on being here for the duration, go grab some popcorn, grab some tea, some coffee. Yeah, we have some things to discuss. Last weekend's huge news was Tfue versus FaZe Clan. Uh, and then this weekend, it seemed like it was Nick Merckx with a combination of Tfue.
Ooh.
And then today, just today, we have Optic and Infinite and the whole Immortals thing going down.
Mhm.
Which I have a source close to the situation. They told me some things about what we should be expecting this week, and also some insider information on Optic. We'll get there later
That
though.
we are allowed to expose, or
We are allowed to expose
Okay.
this, which
Okay.
is going to be interesting. I've never really done this before, broken news live or anything like that. But it's gonna be fun. I have my best friend with me, so if I go down, she's going down with me. And it's fine.
Bro,
So
apparently I'm sticking with it recently. Like I swear to God. Oh God. Don't worry, I can ruin a career that I didn't even have in the first place. I'm fucking ready.
Oh, I love you so much. All right, so
My ego is great.
this topic's gonna be interesting, just because not seems we are on different sides.
Mhm.
Um, Viv believes has one opinion on Tfue versus FaZe Clan, while I have a different opinion. Last weekend there was an article dropped by the Hollywood Reporter. Let me get it up.
I
That
need to get my tweets up because I wrote literally almost all of my opinions in these
mhm.
tweets. I had five screenshots worth of just discussions about this topic because I
Yeah,
was so passionate about it.
yeah. There was a lot. Everybody had something to say. Everybody. But before
Even
we
Ace
get
shot.
there, before we get there, look, all right, look, I feel 100 Thieves, I have the hoodie on. Let's not Turner
Talk
Tenney,
match.
a 21-year-old professional gamer known as Tfue, says FaZe Clan is violating California law and the Talent Agency Act. This entire article here basically says that Tfue signed a contract when he was 19/20. I don't know exactly how old he was, but he was young. He did it. He wasn't exactly blowing up yet, but FaZe Clan approached him with a contract. Um, and if seems like the biggest organization, or one of the biggest organization in esports, not even Fortnite, but esports as a whole, approaches you and says, "Hey, we want you on your team." 9 times out of 10, that person who's going to be signing that contract is just going to be like, "Fuck it, let's go. I'm ready. Put FaZe in front of my name." And that's what seems like happened.
Mhm.
This entire article by the Hollywood Reporter goes on to state that Tfue signed a contract which could take up to 80% of a brand deal which introduced him to. FaZe Clan later released a statement saying that they have never done that, even though it is within the contract that they can. Um, Later, FaZe released a statement saying that they have collected 0% or $0 of his tournament winnings, Twitch, YouTube, yada yada yada. The only money that they have collected, FaZe Clan, is $60,000 from two partnerships deals that was bought to Turner by FaZe. Um, Here is the entire. I'm not gonna go through all of this. It has been talked about over and over and over again.
It was trending for literally
Yeah, if
days.
if you really really want to read the entire filing, you can. You are more than welcome to.
If you want to just hear the tea, then just stay in this podcast
Then
and you'll
then
be fine.
just hang on, because there is more. Then Tfue's contract got leaked. It seems like it was Tfue's brother who leaked it. Because it was confirmed to Keemstar that this is the actual contract, and that it was released by a non-FaZe member. Um, Obviously his brother isn't in FaZe. That's the only person that's really close to this. I personally don't see his girlfriend leaking it. Maybe it could have been his dad, but it's pretty fair to assume that it was somebody from Tfue's camp that leaked it. Because once this whole thing got released, Banks said that him and his team are working to release the contract. I stayed up waiting for that contract that never got released when Banks said, oh, okay, it's getting released momentarily. It didn't, so somebody went, fuck it, here you go. The Blast got it, and things within this contract are very unfair. Very, very, very unfair. As you can see here on the screen, here is directly from his contract different splits. Brand deals bought in by FaZe, 80% goes to FaZe, 20 goes to Tfue. In-game sticker and merchandise, 50 Tfue, 50 FaZe Clan. And it was confirmed by FaZe Clan that that does not include his creator code. So all of the money from his creator code is apparently still going to him. Next, you have brand deals bought in by Gamer, 50-50. Appearance fees, 50-50. Prize, 80-20. Majority going to Tfue. The biggest part of this contract that I have a problem with is that there is a clause within here that says if Tfue is terminated from FaZe Clan, he cannot play video games publicly, online, or in live tournaments professionally for a period of 6 months. And then of course there's a whole bunch of stuff about his confidentiality and his exclusive rights, yada yada yada. Basically FaZe Clan got Tfue for 3 years locked into a contract that gives FaZe Clan control over almost everything in this man's career. I'm gonna let you go first, Viv, because I know you have a lot to say, and I'm personally interested because we haven't been able to actually sit down and talk about it in depth. So
Okay.
let's fucking go.
So I pulled out my notes that I wrote regarding the situation. And I'm just gonna try to make this sort of a step by step because there's a lot of information that was being thrown around over time. And a lot of things that were building up as the situation was progressing.
Yep.
So, regarding the contract and Tfue, so, first of all, disregarding FaZe and the whole Tfue situation, we have seen a lot of players and player issues regarding contracts coming out in the esports scene. As you can see on the screen of topics, Denial Esports is actually one of those things that we will have to discuss in the future of the podcast. But they are a prime example of players signing contracts and then the org screwing them over, and then them being unhappy and making it public and then having repercussions due to probably and very likely signing an NDA. So it's very common in esports for players to be very unhappy with their contracts, and it's very common in esports for organizations to screw over their players in those contracts. So, knowing with keeping that in mind, let's just look at the situation regarding FaZe and Tfue. Now, this is something that maybe this is more biased due to the fact that I work in esports, right, and I am a staff member, not a player.
Yep.
But something that I have said a million times, and I will continue to repeat this, but every single time. When we look at situations like Denial, right? Those players signed those contracts. The thing is that Tfue signed this contract, right? People say like, oh, he was like naive, or oh, he was young, or oh, like the organization just fucked him over and twisted their words. You can't It's a legal document that has every word, any type of twist, any type of turn, any way that the organization can fuck you over. is in that contract. They can't do anything if it's not in that contract, correct? Every single
Yeah.
legal term that will happen regarding what your situation is going to be present in that contract, which means that Tfue Tfue looked over this contract and willingly, no one forced him to. Everyone needs to realize he willingly looked over this contract, read word for word the percentages, the terms and clauses, and any other obligations from his side for FaZe Clan. He read this and he signed it.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. There's nothing to it. There's no like blackmailing. There's no secondary behind the scenes story. It's just he read this contract and he signed it. And the thing that people, again, like, we're going back to the whole aspect of like players being unhappy with their contracts. You know why players are unhappy with their contracts? And you know why Tfue is unhappy with his contract, at least one of the reasons? Is because players sign contracts and they don't read these contracts, or they don't get lawyers to read these contracts. Players just jump in full willingly trusting these organizations and just do it because they're like, oh, we see a big money sign, we're like, oh, we're gonna get paid $2,000-3,000 a month, holy shit, we're gonna be paying professionally under a big org, let's sign. And that's great, but it's not the org's obligation to be fair to you.
No,
it's not. It's a business. It's esports. And especially since it's esports. Esports is a type of industry that you don't profit in the first couple of years. This is a long-term plan. This is a long-term industry, right? So when you invest in this industry, you're waiting at least 5 to 10 years, right? You're looking at the future.
Yeah.
Orgs can, like, if orgs made contracts for player benefits, for the players' benefit, they would never make money.
And most orgs aren't even making money to begin with.
Exactly. No company in esports, no company in general would make money if their contracts or their agreements were made for the people that were signing those agreements. What? That's not how it works. If that's the way it worked, the whole world would crash. The esports would crash as a whole because players would be making the most money. Organizations wouldn't be making any money back. Organizations are already in the negatives.
Yeah.
At least some of them are. At least a majority of organizations, unless they're like tier 1 and even then, are. Depending on the deals that they made, depending on the sponsorships that they have, depending on other things throughout the course of their existence. But yeah, so knowing that Tfue went as a 20-year-old, he's a grown adult. I don't give a shit if he was 20. If everyone says that's still young, I don't care. I'm 19 years old, right?
Here's the other thing too, like, beside with your point. Tfue has been with orgs before. He was with Rogue.
He's seen contracts before.
He was with Rogue, with Dr. Lupo. So he's seen contracts before. He signed them contracts before. This isn't like this dude was at 100 viewers, Banks went to him and was like, yo, sign this thing. No, I swear to God, it's okay. Like, he knows. He knows.
So he's seen contracts before. He's a 20-year-old man that is legally an adult, that is legally allowed to make his own decisions. He, as an adult, if he truly, truly wanted to make sure that this contract was fair to him, could have went and gotten a lawyer. If he truly gave a flying fuck, and he truly was like, I want to make sure that the contract that I sign is the contract for me, I'm going to get a lawyer. He did not. That was his choice. He signed. That was his choice. Everything that he did, that was his choice.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest. Like, okay, so I'm sitting here. I'm a writer now. I don't work for any esports orgs or anything like that. But my end goal is to work for an org. If/when that happens, that an org comes to me and offers me a staff position, I'm getting a lawyer to look over that shit.
Right, exactly.
No matter if it's regardless of the fact that I'm a staff member and I'm not going to be like obviously getting the same pay and different perks that would be coming with being a content creator, a esports athlete, whatever.
Anything that you sign with an organization, anything that has a contract, you have to read it.
You need to take responsibility for yourself
for your own actions. That's exactly what I'm going to say next. Is that people need to realize, and this is something that I'm getting really fed up with players, is that players, like, everyone constantly defends the player, right? Because in reality, they're the ones that are getting screwed over. But the players
They are,
need
yeah.
to take responsibility for their actions. Every adult needs to take responsibility for their actions. Tfue needs to take responsibility for his actions and his action regarding signing a contract that obviously was not good in terms of what he wanted for his future, but he doesn't care. Now, the reason why I mentioned the word he doesn't care is because this whole argument, in reality, okay, this whole argument, and the reason why he will legally win this battle, in my opinion, regarding the contracts and him going to court, is because of the fact that it is technically, we cannot deny the fact that it is illegal. What is in this contract regarding the 80-20%, right? That is illegal, and that cannot be changed in any sort of way. That is in writing. It has been signed, and regardless of what you want to say, he will definitely win this legal argument or legal battle. I don't know how FaZe can really get out of this situation. So that's that. But this is my thing: is that, see, that's what people are latched onto. It's the fact that there's an illegal clause in the contract that goes against like the talent agency like things, right? But in reality, I don't think that's even the case. I think that Tfue could give a rat's ass about this 80%. He could give a rat's ass about this clause. What he really wants is just to make all of the money and take it for himself. That's it. He doesn't want to have any obligations to FaZe. He doesn't need FaZe anymore. That's what people don't understand. He's become bigger than, well, and bigger in a different way than FaZe Clan. He makes millions of dollars. He can do everything. He can hire people to do everything for him. He doesn't need FaZe Clan anymore. He wants to be his own person, his own brand. He wants to build himself, and that's totally understandable. So to do that, how does he need to do this? He needs to get out of that contract. How does he get out of that contract? He makes this allegation of, which is true. We won't deny that it's an 80-20% and that's illegal. That's fine. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that people are saying he doesn't. I don't like. Okay, I'm gonna try to summarize this the best I can. In the video that we saw,
Which one?
regarding his video that he posted, Tfue,
Yeah, like his
where he talked about how the allegations of all. I don't know if it was in his video or if it came out through tweets, but how people were where he said that he had these specific percentages in this contract, and he was very nervous about the fact that FaZe was going to take the 80% cut. FaZe was going to take a majority of his money. FaZe was going to do this, and they could literally take all of his hard-earned money. I think he literally said that in his video. They're going to take all of my hard-earned money. Now, let me tell you something about that. If FaZe really wanted to take all your money, they would have fucking done it by now. If they have every legal right, other than the 80-20, to take any other money that they have percentages on, anything. If they wanted to do it, they would have done it a fucking long time ago. And FaZe has stated that they have only taken 60K in total with Tfue sign. Do you know how little that is compared to the amount that Tfue has made under FaZe Clan?
Yeah, Banks said, he was like, that has to be less than 1%.
And FaZe Clan deserves that 60K. They deserve more than 60K. Because the thing is that Tfue was nothing. Well, okay. Tfue had a very small fan base. Definitely not even comparable to what he has now. Tfue was very tiny. I never heard of Tfue until he got under FaZe Clan. No, Tfue was very tiny.
So the reason why Tfue honestly was picked up by FaZe was because
he was fucking good at playing games.
Yeah, absolutely. He has a history of BRs.
Exactly.
And he has a history of being really fucking good at them. He started with Destiny, and then he went to
H1Z1, I think, for a little while.
And then he went to PUBG, and then he went to Fortnite, and then from there he started breaking records, because that's what fucking Tfue does, is he breaks records.
Right, but I'm just saying that, like, in reality, Tfue has never really been a big face.
No, absolutely. Oh. And he was picked up because I believe, like, he killed Ninja. And Ninja was like,
no.
At that time, like, Ninja was the big thing. And if you kill Ninja, you're really good. So FaZe was like,
Well, yeah,
let's
but
get this dude, and then
I
from
don't think that,
there it just.
have you. I think what happened was that Banks was literally just watching his videos and he just liked his content and he was like, bro, I'm gonna pick this kid up. Like
Yeah,
he
he
looked at
said that.
obviously some of the background history,
Yeah, he said
but
that.
it was just like, yo, this kid's fun to watch. I'm just gonna pick him up.
Yeah, he said he tuned into his stream, and he was like, yo, if I can actually enjoy this dude while I'm falling asleep, like in bed, then yeah, I'm gonna like put him under my ring or wing, yada yada yada. My point for that is you're watching a dude and he's making you fall asleep. Why would you want him on your team? But that's besides the fact.
Right, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So right, so Tfue wasn't a big face, not as big as
Absolutely not. He had
not, and
being generous. He had 150 viewers concurrent.
right,
That's
and
generous.
what FaZe literally did, okay, and we don't even need to like. This is not debate. This is literally factual. We've seen numbers. Literally, the moment that FaZe took this tiny boy, all right, and literally made him into a huge face. They like what they did was they took him, they signed him, and the moment they signed him, his numbers skyrocketed. People knew who Tfue was. People started recognizing him. People started, it was like, oh, I've never heard of this guy. Started tuning into his stream, started tuning into his videos. He blew up because people realized this kid's good, right? And we're not going to discredit the fact that Tfue built himself with FaZe Clan. Tfue did. The FaZe is not the only part that FaZe Clan wasn't the only part that helped him become who he is now. It was his own hard work, his own personality, his own drive, his own talent, right? But I'm saying that FaZe Clan gave him the platform to get his name out there, gave him a platform to promote himself and his brand and elevate him to a level that he is in now. That's what FaZe Clan did. And FaZe Clan, for that specific reason, deserves fucking more than 60 fucking K. They probably spent more than fucking 60K just to get everything ready for him. They probably already spent more than 60K on his fucking salary, bro. They probably already, the 60K is gone. 60K has been gone for a very long fucking time.
Apparently, within his contract, it states that he gets that he's supposed to get $2,000 a month. But Banks also said that Tfue has refused to accept the salary. So there's a lot of concurrent, or not a lot of stuff that matches up. There's a lot of weird stuff that's going out. Like Banks is like, oh, we were smacked up beside the head. We had no idea. Yada yada yada.
Bro, 2K for
throughout the text that they're trying to do shit. And
right, well, that's what I'm about to say. So Tfue comes on, he signs the contract, he joins the team, he gains a massive amount of followers, subscribers, and viewers, right? So FaZe helps him get into
the charts are
right.
insane.
So he gets big, so he starts getting big, but not like super large. He's still at a decent size to where he's not the Tfue he is now. So what does FaZe do? FaZe gives him not just the platform, but because this is something everyone needs to realize. Tfue got big during and after the Friday Fortnite. After the Friday Fortnite tournaments, after he started winning them consistently, right? Showing to thousands and thousands of viewers and we can discredit Keemstar all we want, but the fact that this tournament these weekly tournaments that Keemstar did were a massive success. Yeah. And
so
this is what really blew up
on the screen right now. Tfue was announced on April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
The chart kind of speaks for itself. This is what obviously it goes up immensely, but it hockey sticks. Goes straight up. You have a little curve and then boom up. And
yeah,
I personally don't think he would have had that intense blow up if it wasn't for FaZe providing that.
FaZe Clan. Exactly. And if we talk about, okay, well, fuck FaZe. Let's just say that he wasn't announced to FaZe, right? And he just started playing Friday Fortnites, right? He would have been fine himself because it's his talent that got him there. Wrong. Because who got him to Friday Fortnite? Who got him to Friday Fortnite?
Banks did.
Who did? Banks did.
Yeah.
Who Banks is part of what? FaZe Clan.
Mm-hmm.
So what got him into Friday Fortnite? Banks did. FaZe Clan did. He would have never even had the opportunity because Keemstar was so inclusive regarding the people that were playing in his Friday Fortnite tournament. He still is. He asked for at least a minimum of 6K per stream. Do you have to be pulling?
So
right?
So as of right now, as it stands, the last I heard, I personally don't like Keemstar, so I don't keep up with his shit. The only reason I watch Drama Alert is because of the place that I work, and I like to keep up with things in the industry. And I'm gonna be honest, like, he does get interviews and stuff that other sources of news don't. So yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. And
But per him, obviously it's gonna be duos. The lowest amount of viewers somebody can have is 1,000. However, your partner must be over 6,000. And for us, anyway, we might be biased. I don't know. But we worked for Gangstars. And Gangstars had Cease under their roster for Fortnite. And Cease is an amazing player. I honestly think he's gonna, at least him and Elevate are gonna get top 5 at World Cup. And Cease is also probably gonna get probably top 3 for solos at World Cup. Like, he's that good. Cloak even shouted him out as one of the best Fortnite players. And Friday Fortnite is something that has been used to help make people's careers. Cloaksy, Tfue, Nick Merckx, all of them. Most of them exploded because of Friday Fortnite. Also, one, because of their personality, but because they're also good. So why the fuck wouldn't you let two of the best people in Fortnite play in an event that is supposed to generate content?
Because they don't produce the views, and that's what matters. Friday Fortnite was never about skill. Friday Fortnite was about the views.
I'm gonna toss.
And then after the views, after you get a certain amount of people that the views are right, then after that he looks into skill. But that's the very end. That's to see if he even has any spots left, right? So that's what I'm saying. Tfue would have never, ever been able to get into Friday Fortnite, not with his numbers, if he was not in FaZe, if he was not announced. Which means that his FaZe, on top of giving him the platform to be able to get to a decent to elevate his numbers right away, they also gave him the platform to be able to compete in the biggest tournament in Fortnite at the time. And that's when his career blew up even more. Now that's from his skill, bless you. But I'm saying that if it wasn't for FaZe Clan, bless you, he would have never ever gotten into that opportunity, right? It's okay. So FaZe Clan builds his brand. FaZe Clan gives him a massive amount of followers, subs, views. FaZe Clan gives him the opportunity to play in events that he would have never been able to qualify for forever. FaZe Clan provided him everything that he needed for success, that he would have not been able to do himself. At least not right away. We don't know the success that Tfue would have had if it was just on his own, right? He was good in Fortnite, but in reality, how many people would have really found out about Tfue if it wasn't
the
for
only
FaZe
way?
Clan? We don't know.
Yeah, the only way Tfue would have blown up is that if he would have actually earned his way into Friday Fortnite, or if he would have done more better stuff on YouTube and whatnot. But it was Banks who helped Tfue get his thumbnails and all that shit. So, yeah.
So it's so he joins FaZe, he signs a contract willingly, he gains a shit ton of popularity, a shit ton of eyes, a shit ton of things in general towards him and his brand. And he milks the fucking living shit out of FaZe Clan. Every single drop. Okay? And in the end, in my opinion, right, is that after he got his new fame, his money, and his influence, he then realized he doesn't need FaZe Clan anymore. Because in reality, what can FaZe Clan offer him that he can't do himself anymore? He's his own platform. That's it. He's literally his own platform. So instead of appreciating what FaZe Clan did, because in reality, someone that isn't a greedy bastard and appreciates what an organization has done for them, all he could have done was FaZe never again. If we're talking, because his reasoning was, I'm scared they're gonna take all of my hard-earned money. They never did. So what was your concern? What was your concern? That they might? Okay. Well, they haven't. That's a might. We don't know if that's true or not. If they wanted to, they would have done it by now.
Yeah.
Okay, if it's a might, then you would have exposed them anyway in the future if they might, and then the whole fan base would have rallied fucking behind you. And you knew. The thing is that you guys need to realize he's known for a very long time that this clause in his contract was illegal, right? Because him and his lawyers have been talking about this for a while. Correct? You can't just sue someone in a week. This is a process. It's a so he knew that if something was to happen, if FaZe Clan started taking his money, he could have fucking went and sued the shit out of FaZe Clan and been like, bitch, you can't take my money, give me my money back. Right? But so in reality, if we want to be morally correct, he could have thanked and appreciated FaZe Clan by staying with FaZe Clan for the remainder of his contract. If they were to fuck him over, he could fuck them back. And he could have just continued to compete under FaZe Clan. But he didn't, you know why? Because his brother and his father and himself are the greediest pieces of shit, bro. I'm sorry, but I'm not on Tfue's side whatsoever. So, instead, he spit all of the appreciation back into FaZe Clan's fucking face and said that that's it. I don't give a flying fuck about you. I don't give a flying fuck about what you've done. I don't give a flying fuck about anything in general regarding FaZe Clan. I am my own person. I'm a famous celebrity. I'm an influencer. I have the ego, and I can do whatever the fuck I want. And during this process, exactly. Thank you, Will. During this process, in this entire time where he was also stating, hey, I'm really worried because of the fact that, oh, I might lose all my money because of this contract. The whole entirety of the duration that he was under FaZe Clan, we saw, I think let's just say, I'm just going to spit out random numbers, but I know it's around, like, the dates are very close to each other. I don't know the exact dates. Let's just say he got his contract as September 1st. FaZe sent him a new contract September 20th. I don't know the exact dates, again, don't quote me, but I know they're very close to each other. It was in the same month that they sent a new revised contract. They have sent multiple contracts to Tfue. Now, we don't know if this has not been confirmed technically. I don't know if it has. We have not seen these contracts. But actually, no, we have seen these contracts. I lied. It's in the video. It's in the video that FaZe posted. They have sent multiple contracts to Tfue to try to fix this issue and be fair as an organization and provide Tfue, to provide Tfue the right percentages and the right numbers, even though they were never gonna take his money anyway. At the end, they spoke about how they offered Tfue a contract that literally took none of his money and offered him a 6 or 7 figure salary. They were never going to take his money. His whole argument about how he was worried they were going to take his cash is complete and utter bullshit. He just was trying to get the fan base to do what people like to call the cancel culture and to cancel FaZe Clan and for everyone to side on his fucking side and so it would help his case regarding leaving FaZe Clan. This whole thing is a charade. It's a whole legal act. Nobody talks about the fact that he talked about how people forced him to drink, or the fact that people forced him to do stunts that were hurtful. No, where are those allegations? Those are allegations that hurt the brand. There's no proof or evidence behind these allegations. No one wants to talk about that? You know why? I don't know why. No one wants to talk about that. That's so fucked up. He literally was trying to bring the brand down because he's trying to get out of his contract. That is how ungrateful this piece of shit is.
Oh my god.
So FaZe Clan gave him the platform, gave him the viewers, gave him the opportunities, gave him the money, gave him new contracts, and FaZe and Tfue just spit all over their fucking faces and told them, I'm bigger and better than you. Fuck you for everything that you've done for me. I don't give a flying rat's ass about you anymore. Done. That is exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. And I cannot understand, and this is where you need to argue with me because I don't know. I cannot understand, and I need to see your point of view, why anyone would be on Tfue's side. The only thing that I can see that FaZe did wrong was the fact that they gave him a contract that was technically illegal because of that one clause. But they immediately backtracked and immediately sent him a new contract that did not have those percentages in the contract because they realized that contract was not correct. If they didn't want to do that, they wouldn't have ever sent him revised fucking contracts in the first place. And they sent him a revised contract before he blew up.
Yes.
This was before Friday Fortnite. No. His numbers went up, but this was before Friday Fortnite. This is before Tfue became Tfue. This is when Tfue was going to that stage. So they sent him a contract right before this all was really blowing up. which means that they weren't just waiting to see if he blew up and then give him a new contract. They were trying to formulate a contract as fast as they possibly fucking could.
Yeah, no. Apparently,
it takes a while.
Yeah, so this contract that Tfue signed, apparently, this is like a standard contract that goes to like most if not all of FaZe's esports athletes or whatever, and like most of these like people that are getting signed to FaZe Clan or whatever, they're young, and they don't know. Most of them don't have lawyers, and this was under a new law team, and that law team obviously set up this contract. And if you're a business, and if you're like, yo, so we're gonna sign these players, and 9 times out of 10 we know these kids aren't gonna have lawyers look over this shit, so might as well get away. Might as well get away with as much as we can. I am not saying it is okay. I'm not. I don't agree with it at all. Like, it's fucked up regardless of the fact if you're a kid and you're really excited to sign with a thing. If you see anything in a contract that has 80-20 with 80 going to the organization, do not sign that fucking contract. Don't do it. Because the true point of you going to an organization is to provide safety and stability for you. If the basic ass contract they're going to provide you can't even do that, why would you sign it? Just because you're going to get a little bit of clout off of the FaZe name or the Optic name? No, man, come on. Like, take more responsibility into yourself, into your brand. The reason you're going to an organization is to build your brand. So, take responsibility for yourself.
Right, but that's the thing, that Tfue didn't do that. And a majority of players in the esports industry don't do that. I've spoken to a bunch of teams, and I'm sorry, teams need a manager. Anyone that is a player on the team, get a fucking manager, please, in God's name. You need a manager. You don't, like, players don't know, like, business. They just know video games, which is perfectly content with me, right? Because that's the whole point why they're players and not staff members.
You don't need a fucking manager, an agent,
an agency firm. I don't even work.
You're probably going to want to get a contract lawyer as well. Like, you really want to take this stuff seriously. Because, I mean, goddamn, the person who wins the Fortnite World Cup solo event walks away with $3 million. What the hell if you got so excited you signed a contract that 80% of that goes to the fucking organization? Dope. You're walking away with less than $1 million, not even taking the fact that, taxes and all of that. So, like, think about that. If a person walks up to you on the side of the street and says, hey, I can give you $3 million right now, but you need to sign this paper real quick, don't worry about it. Like, it's probably a bad analogy, like, just thinking about it off the top of my head, but come on. The only reason, however, that I am on Tfue's side is that I agree with him that he saw something was wrong in that contract, where regardless of the fact that if your best friend, best buddy, or whatever says, hey, you signed this contract, I have nothing to do with it, but you signed this contract, and it says we have the possibility to take 80% of your earnings. I'm telling you, I'm not going to do that. If I am making millions of dollars a month, I am not leaving that to chance.
Banks, from what I understand with Banks, is that Banks isn't in a position where he's the one that decides what player gets what contract, what's on that contract. He was just a buddy that went to his friend and was like, bro, I have an org that I created. I have a position in that company that is quite high, but obviously I don't have the influence. But I can convince the higher-ups to bring you into this organization and offer you an opportunity. Do you want to see? You have a choice. You keep forgetting this word choice. You have a choice if you want to or you don't want to come on board. And Tfue made the choice of saying, yes, I do want to take you up on the offer. Thank you. I'm going to sign this contract. There's no excuse, Amanda. What is the excuse?
There isn't an excuse for that. I'm not going to defend that. I can't.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, I can, but I'd be a hypocrite, and I can't, and I'd be wrong.
Like,
be honest.
I just don't see it. Like, we talk about how he's like, but you're my friend. Well, bitch, you consider. I mean, if you want to be a hypocrite, you're like Tfue is being a hypocrite. You're like, you fuck me over. You're my friend, so I'm gonna fuck you over back 4 times the size.
Yeah.
On a global fucking social media level, and fucking cancel your whole company and cancel everything that you've been working on the last couple of fucking years and dedicated your whole life to. Okay, well, decades, practically. But I'm just saying, like, the last, like, what, 10 years that you've dedicated your whole...
Yeah, that's close. I would say
that you've dedicated your whole life to.
That's it's pretty much, yeah.
The business
it seems
that you
like,
from the very beginning.
it seems
I'm just
like,
gonna fuck you over.
Yeah, it seems like it got out of Turner's hands. It seems like he has this money to where he can go to his lawyers or whatever and just say, hey, I signed this contract that says there's a clause in here that I think is illegal and I want to get out of it. How long is the contract? 3 years. Okay, well, you have the money, so we're gonna take this to court for you. Since we're gonna do a filing, let's just throw everything we can against the wall. Who
made it public? Who made it public?
What do you mean? Well, I mean, Tfue made it public first. His lawyers.
So Tfue made it public.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I'm getting there. So throw everything against the wall. What have they done that you think is really messed up? Well, they made me drink. There is so much evidence on the internet that Tfue underage drank before and after he joined FaZe Clan. So that doesn't really count. Well, there's instances where they forced me to do stunts, which cause permanent disfiguration. Cool. Okay. The first thing you did when you got to Hollywood was you jumped off the reservoir. Sure, you were at FaZe, but there's video evidence of you there, like trying to pay people to do it, like Adapt and Banks. So that doesn't really count. And there's also videos of you cliff jumping and diving. So that's a weak argument.
Wait 1 second. With what you said, Will, just so you know, usually contracts is quite a standard pro quo kind of thing. Usually contracts have something called the first hand of refusal. I think that's what it's called. Which means that what happens is that once your contract ends, what they're allowed to do is if you get contacted, let's just say Immortals contacts you, right? And they're like, okay, I'll offer you like fucking 10K a month, right? And yada yada yada. Regardless, the other stuff doesn't matter. But I offer you 10,000 a month. Then FaZe technically has the right to match that same offer, and if they match that same offer
within 15 days,
you have to sign with FaZe Clan.
Yep.
So, but the thing is, Immortals can keep betting up, so it's not 100%, but FaZe can technically bid the same amount, and you would have to go to them.
Yep.
Yes.
No.
But it's not 100%.
It's not. I feel like Tfue went to his lawyers.
Wouldn't even resign.
Yeah, I feel like it would be one of those things where Tfue went to his lawyers, he talked to them, he told them a bunch of different things, and it got public. He didn't expect it to. His lawyers went, holy shit, this is a big case, let's make this shit big. And they fucking did. They certainly did.
I don't believe that a lawyer with the amount... Bro, you literally do, like, the most incredible and intense training to become a lawyer. I don't think a lawyer would just be like, alright, bro, I'm gonna get paid by this dude to literally look over his contracts, and I'm just gonna make this shit public, because I think that's the right thing to do. I would think that after all of the shit that you've gone through, that you have, you have the mindset of, maybe I should ask the person that's paying me what I should do. In a sense of, I will look over your contract. I will do whatever I need to regarding being a lawyer, but anything that you want to make public, I would need to get confirmation from you first before I'm allowed to do that. I don't believe that Tfue is all innocent. Tfue didn't accidentally get the shit leaked. I think Tfue... So his father and his brother influenced him, and himself and his own fucking ego, to go to a lawyer and get out of this contract. Then he goes, because he wants all of the fucking money, and he's a greedy bastard. He goes, he pays these lawyers because he has millions of dollars to throw out anyway. Who gives a fuck about paying a couple good fucking lawyers, right? That's like going to a fucking Dollar Tree for him. So he goes, he gets a lawyer, the lawyers look over it, and the lawyers are like, okay, we can definitely sue them, we can get this done for you, and we can get you out of this contract. And here's some options of what we can do to make it easier for us in court. And they mentioned making this public as one of the options, right? Because They had a strategy.
Yeah,
behind
he has a firm that's based out in Southern California, and they are huge. I believe they deal with like Hollywood actors and stuff like that. So
right.
he's paying a pretty penny for them.
Right. So he did all these things. The lawyers gave him options. The lawyers gave him options with different strategies of how to approach this. One of those options was going public and making these allegations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those were the options. And this obviously a big time lawyer, right? Who is making a shit ton of bank, that has a shit ton of experience, because he wouldn't go to a shitty lawyer with that much money. I'm sure would never ever in his right fucking mind do something without the confirmation of the person that's paying him. So he went to Tfue, and he told him, "Hey Tfue, these are the options. What do you want to do?" He's like, "Do you want to make this public?" And Tfue had to have said, "Yes, I do." Done. That's it. Mic drop. He had to have said, "Yes, I do." And that is exactly why it went public. So Tfue once again, first of all, lied because he said, "I didn't want to make this public." Bullshit. I think what happened was that he said yes, but he never expected it to be as big as it actually got. I think that's what happened. That is exactly what happened. I don't give a fuck about what anyone else says. That is exactly what happened. There's no way a big time lawyer or a big time firm would ever do something without the person's permission.
Mm-hmm.
And they obviously kept these files very confidential, right? Because there's no way it would just get leaked. How does it get leaked? It's what?
Somebody
It's a law firm.
Somebody close to. No. So.
Who would leak it? Then his father or his brother? Who would he give this
somebody
to?
Close to him who has access to it. His dad has it. His brother has it. Probably his girlfriend has seen it. But you know how fucking easy it is to access these contracts, Viv.
Right, but I'm saying that I don't disagree. But I'm saying like, okay, so let's just say that his father or his brother or his girlfriend made this public, which I don't think it's his girlfriend. It would probably have to be the brother or the father.
No, it's probably. I'm honestly weighing between his brother or his dad.
Right, and it's like, okay, well, the thing is with that is, it's still a planned strategy, and even if he did not want to make this public, then it came out to be public. Then that's it. If his dad did it, his dad's a fucking piece of shit. I'm sorry, I don't give a flying fuck. I think his dad's an asshole.
I was about to say, you know about his dad, right? His dad basically runs a Ponzi scheme down in Florida, like.
He's from Florida. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, using coin-based washing machines and whatnot. It's interesting. He's a very interesting individual.
An interesting individual that's a piece of crap. I'm sorry. I'm not happy with any of the fucking Tfue family, bro. I'm pissed. I find it to be. I feel like in this day and age.
Yeah, apparently the reason why, like, to get down and dirty into it. Apparently the reason he wants to leave FaZe Clan is because he wants to start his own org, and pursue the type of sponsors that he wants to. So, for instance, right now he is promoting a prototype mouse for Final Mouse. However, FaZe Clan has a sponsorship promotion set up with SteelSeries. So, therefore, they're conflicting. You're not going to be able to do that. And it's most likely one of those things, since FaZe Clan can only give Tfue 20% of deals that is bought to him, Tfue isn't getting that much money. However, if Final Mouse comes to him and goes, "Yo, we will give you, this is a random ass number, I really don't know how much it is, $250,000 to showcase this." Like, that's a money
right, but I'm
business
saying,
decision.
But
that's what I think he's seeing right now. That's where I think he is.
Right, because all he does is he only sees money signs, and that's why he's spitting all over FaZe. In this day and age, people don't fucking appreciate what they have, and they don't appreciate people that help them to get where they are. It's not just a Tfue thing.
It goes into another topic which we'll get to, but the only organization and like people around them that are truly supporting the organization, not the ownership group or anything like that, is Optic. Like, please, I implore you guys to go out and find a tweet or a public statement from a current Optic member that says something bad about Optic. That isn't like, Optic is family, Optic is love, this name really fucking means something, Green Wall for life. Like, if you can find me a tweet of somebody going, yeah, no, Optic is shit, I made a bad decision, like, I will PayPal you. Never, I'm not gonna toss that out there because I might be wrong. But, yeah, you're not gonna be able to find it. However, goes into another topic that we have on the list of Nick Merckx and 100 Thieves. Like, that got ugly real quick.
We'll get to that point. We'll get to that point in a second.
It is, but I'm just... Nah, yeah, but just like... This is the first huge public thing that we really saw of the really dirty inner workings of esports. And unfortunately, Viv, you and I have already seen those. We've seen some of the contracts. We've seen the shitty, absolute horrible contracts of...
Bro, we don't even need to see the contracts.
Of companies locking in players who are 15 for 3 years for a game that's honestly probably going to die within the next year. Like, it makes no sense. Hold on.
It makes sense. In all reality, if the game would just say... If the game dies in 2-3 years, they still make the salary that they make every month.
Yeah, it's it got really messy.
Like,
it's really gross.
It's like, no, in all honesty, like, they still that doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna go into that. What I'm gonna go into the thing regarding like the Tfue situation. You can add on to it if you'd like, but this is just my opinion. First of all, just so everybody knows, it hasn't been fully confirmed, but FaZe did say that the full amount, I think they made around 300,000 in total from brand deals that they brought to Tfue, and they only took 60% of it. I mean, 60K from it. So keep that in mind, everybody.
So true. However, there's something that people are really missing, is that through this filing, let me bring it up real quick. Hollywood. There is, within this filing, he's claiming that, let me bring up, that the company has taken money from sponsorship deals, yet they have not given him that money from that. And that's what this is really...
Has that been confirmed?
It's in the filing. I'm trying to find it. And nobody has talked about it.
I have not heard of this.
Here. FaZe Clan's illegal contracts and illegal procurement of employments are only the beginning of FaZe Clan's misconduct. Though FaZe Clan is supposed to be looking out for Tenny's best interest, FaZe Clan has done the opposite. As Tenny's agent, FaZe Clan receives payment on Tenny's behalf from third parties for the sponsorship deals that included Tenny's service, in breach of the gamer agreement and FaZe Clan's common law obligations. FaZe Clan has retained those payments without distributing them to Tenny.
Well, first of all, we don't know if they've actually received those payments, have we? Do we?
FaZe Clan has retained those payments. Yes.
Honestly, I don't have a comment on that.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I can't make a comment. I have no idea why. If that's true, then fuck FaZe Clan for that specific reason. Then I will side with Tfue. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it is. It's extremely fucked up, and that's the point that I side with Tfue on this. That
so over
regardless,
over this one point, which isn't even 100% confirmed. We don't even know this yet.
It's this is a filing, and like I said earlier, Tfue's camp takes everything horrible that they know, they fling it against a wall, and they hope something sticks. Most of the stuff that they have flung, like the dirty shit, the stunts, the drinking, the gambling, that hasn't been talked about.
Why didn't they post about this publicly?
Because FaZe Clan has probably actually done this, and they don't want to say anything. Like, this is such a bigger game than FaZe Banks coming out and saying, I did this and I did that. Like, FaZe Clan's kind of dirty for this.
No, I'm saying, why didn't Tfue or anything regarding that specific, all these allegations, why wasn't this presented?
Because, my opinion, I think Tfue is being driven by his entire team of lawyers. And if Tfue wants to talk about something, yet his lawyers tell him, no, don't do this because that might mess up our case or whatever. He's probably not going to. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but if Tfue comes out and says something after this fact while he's streaming, like, there's already been an issue of it. Yeah, no,
Well,
FaZe Clan hasn't taken any of my earnings. Well, now you're going up against what your lawsuit says. So you have to be very careful about what you say publicly now.
This is the thing, right? But if this is true, then he's allowed to say this. He's not technically. Your case would be ruined if this was technically not correct. But if it's correct, then what are you losing from this? I don't know anything. I'm not a lawyer. But I'm saying, like, if you say this, like, he said that in the contract it says 80-20. That was true. This is why he mentioned it. That's his whole argument, right? So if this is true, wouldn't he have mentioned it? Because that is also factual. You can be backed up with actual evidence. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this, but I think I'm honestly on FaZe's side on this. Obviously, as you can tell from my whole argument.
Yeah, no, and and like I said before, like we started, I'm neutral, but leaning more on Tfue's side just because, like, again, like, I can't be a hypocrite in this and say that I can't say hypocrite and say I wouldn't at least think about what he's doing now if I wasn't in his position. Like, if I was to sign with...
Yeah, but would you do it? Would you sue the company that gave you all this opportunity?
I personally don't think I had... That's a lie. I can't say that. I hope not. I hope I would have the people behind me to stop me from doing that. And I believe I believe I have a solid group of friends behind me that would stop me from doing that.
But obviously, Tfue, his shitty father, shitty brother, and obviously everybody else that's apparently around him cannot.
He has a lot of yes men around them, and money talks and bullshit walks.
And he obviously just only sees money.
And I know personally that if for some reason I was to suddenly start making millions of dollars a year, I would not even that. I would have people from my life come out of the woodwork and would try to control me for that money. I know that for a fact because I've seen it with other family members.
I mean, I agree.
And that is why you get people who are 100% like neutral in the situation. You get a lawyer, you get an accountant, you get a financial advisor, etc., etc., etc. You have people around you to protect you from those things, and it seems like he doesn't have that right now. It seems like right now he has a dadager.
Oh God.
That's not.
Family should.
Yeah, no, that's not good. I've worked with family before, and it like I'm not gonna say it sucks, but it definitely affects the relationship.
No, in all honesty, like I'm sorry, this topic really fucking gets me heated. I don't know, maybe it's just with my own morals, but
no,
if I was given this opportunity, I would be thankful for the rest of my fucking life, dude. I would be genuinely thankful to Banks and to FaZe Clan. I mean, obviously, if they fucked me over, that'd be something different. But they haven't. If this is true regarding the amount that he was owed regarding the sponsorship money, that's something different. But let's just not include that. If that wasn't the case, right now, FaZe technically, with the proof that they've shown, have not done anything to fuck Tfue over. They have not done anything. Other than an illegal contract.
I was about to say, you can't say they haven't done anything wrong.
No, I'm saying, like, other than an illegal contract, which they haven't even, like, which they tried to change, and which they have not actually even, they technically haven't even done half the things on that contract and taken half of the money that they should have taken. And and that's just the case. And that's it.
Alright, Viv, let me ask you a question. So, hold on. Alright, so theoretically, somebody from 100 Thieves comes to you tomorrow. Goes, yo, Viv.
I'll get a lawyer to look over it.
We're gonna hold on. We're gonna offer you this contract. We want you to work for us. We want you to be a manager of
our COD team.
Sure. And obviously, you, as a person, you'd be like, yeah, that sounds great. The first thing you do is you go and get a lawyer. Is it?
Well, first of all, I talk to my parents.
Okay.
I talk to my parents. I'd be like, Amanda, holy sh.
Yo, I love how you said. I love how you said. I'm gonna go talk to my parents. Amanda.
I'd be like, Amanda. I talk to my parents. I talk to you. I tell my friends. I'd be like, holy shit. I fucking oh my god. I probably like turn on some music, jam, dance a little bit, shake my booty. It'd be fucking good. And then after discussion, I would probably because I would sit down with my parents properly and have a proper discussion. Then I would read the contract over myself personally. That's what I've done for every contract. And then obviously I would have to talk to my parents regarding a lawyer. Now that's more complicated. And I swear to God, even how much I love FaZe Clan. It's something you're signing for a very long time. I mean, these contracts aren't just 6 months, dude. This is 2-3 years.
I was about to say, for all we know, Tfue looked at that contract and was like, yeah, no, fuck it, let's go, and signed it without even reading it, without even knowing he signed for 3 years.
That could be a possibility, and that's his fault. Okay. And that's like but this is the thing. It just depends on for me. It's not about if I would get a lawyer or not to look over the contract. It would be more about how shitty the lawyer would be and how much I could afford. That's what it would be.
Well, so here's the thing. Even if you get the shittiest of lawyer, even if you get somebody who just like passed the bar, hasn't even gotten a client yet, they're gonna know enough about the verbiage of a contract to break it down into layman's terms for you.
Yeah.
That's the point of a lawyer. They're gonna be able to point that shit out for you. The more expensive a lawyer you're gonna get, yeah, they're gonna be able to offer more opportunities and maybe give a little bit more leverage. But at that point, you're not looking for somebody to give you leverage. You're looking for somebody just to tell you if the contract's okay and if you're signing your soul away.
Right.
That's it.
Dude, that's the thing. And the thing is, these orgs don't tell you have till tomorrow to sign. They're like, and if they do that, then that's some sketchy shit. Obviously, they don't. So they told Tfue, hey, take your time, read this over, and if you want, then sign.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I mean, if I would have, if I wanted to go through like a honeymoon phase of, holy shit, 100 Thieves sign me, maybe I'd go party, fucking, I don't even know what else I'd do, bro. I'd have the fucking funnest for 2-3 days of my life. I'd still have more than enough time to go to a fucking lawyer and ask him to read over my contract, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is, bro. It's just not an excuse. I would do it. Would you do it? What would be the first thing what would be the first couple of things that you would do if you got
okay, real talk, would I blindly sign the contract? No.
You have a contract, look over it.
Blindly, no. Would, of course, every single contract that I have signed, and I will admit it, I have signed some really fucking dumb contracts. The first esports org that I worked for, it was really dumb. It was really stupid. I shouldn't have signed it. I signed away a lot of things that I shouldn't have. Even the org that we worked together, even then, it was actually so bad, it probably couldn't even been legally held up in court because it was copy paste. But we are also
bro, every contract that I've signed, but
we're also working for
low tier
esports organizations. Yeah. So I have read over every single contract that I have signed or whatever. Did I understand it all the way? No, probably not. But I understood that, hey, I'm doing this for 6 months and I agreed to do this, this, and this. But at the end of the day, I also understood I signed an NDA and I couldn't talk about this shit for 5 years. If I had the money and the means to get a lawyer, of course I would have. But we're also signing the organizations that for most of the time, they don't even pay me. So why am I going to put $250 to $1,000 an hour out for a lawyer when I'm going to make nothing?
Oh no, I
absolutely
when you're signing
nothing.
With a shitty org,
however,
I promise you 99.9% of the time, those contracts are not legally binding.
However, if I was to get approached by 100 Thieves, FaZe, somebody, today, tomorrow, whatever, I would immediately go to Chris or to whoever and be like, hey, I either need a lawyer or I need X money for a lawyer to make sure this contract is okay so I don't sign away everything I've worked for 10 years.
Exactly.
That might be because I'm more mature and I've learned from other things that people have done and whatnot.
You know why? You want me to tell you why you would do that? It's because you understand business. And that's the thing about players, is that players just don't get it. They just don't realize how, like, what happens when you sign a contract that you shouldn't sign.
Yeah.
I don't think they really they just don't fathom that. And that's why I'm saying players need managers, or players need agency firms to work with. Someone like, you need to have one person that understands what the fuck they're doing. I have had talks with players that have gotten pissed over contracts that are literally the most copy and paste contracts with every other org, saying, we've never seen this before. What the fuck are you trying to fuck us over? I've had players get pissed about there's like wording in there, like, I won't say what team. Like, I had a team that was like really pissed off because they didn't want to it said in the contract, you must wear our apparel at events.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, excuse me, you can't tell me what I can and can't wear. I'm like, but what? We've never seen something like this in our contract. Like, if you got, like, honey, you gotta get a manager. You can't be doing this type of shit. I mean, at the end, you know what happened with that team? That team that was completely we just couldn't negotiate with. We just didn't sign them, and then they just went on signed, and they don't get salaries now. I don't even think they're signed right now with any other org. That's it. That's what I'm saying. Like, you just have to have managers, and that's my whole opinion on the whole Tfue and FaZe Clan situation. If you want to have, like, if you want to see, like, my whole statement, like, I'll post it in the chat, like, my link or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it on that. And we've probably talked about the topic for at least like 40 minutes, which I'm not surprised about.
We had been live for an hour and 10.
Holy shit. No,
and we still have 5 other topics to talk about.
Yeah, it was good. Actually, guys, I love you. I love you, Amanda. I need to pee real bad.
That's fine. Do you want to take a break?
Yeah, can we take like a quick 5-minute break?
All right, we are back.
That was a good pee break.
I was about to say, we have used the bathrooms. We have done the things that we need to do. We are set.
Feeding the cats.
So we spent over an hour on the FaZe topic.
I feel so bad for whoever's gonna watch this podcast.
Chris tuned in for a little bit.
He was like, "Nah, dude, this is too much shit for me."
He was like, "I've already heard this IRL. I'm gonna go." All right. Yep. So the next topic we're gonna jump on is Nick Mercs' departure from 100 Thieves. There was a whole.
That's so funny.
I kind of saw it coming. Personally, it was a little obvious.
Wait, why is that?
You could tell that he wasn't collaborating with 100 Thieves anymore. He wasn't really doing anything 100 Thieves-y, like
wearing the merch.
He, like, the whole content house. He didn't even visit there. Yeah, it was kind of obvious the way, especially when he moved back to Michigan, when he moved all the way to LA to do this shit with Nade, and it never really, like, seemingly happened. Yeah.
Oh, that shit was so funny. Like, Nate, if you guys didn't know, so during the whole FaZe stuff, the FaZe and Tfue stuff,
Nate that was another thing. Yep.
Yeah, Nate made a tweet, and the tweet was like, I wasn't able to see those tweets live, but I did see them through Dextero's article. Yeah, but he pretty much was sort of kind of, I wouldn't say calling out Banks or FaZe Clan, but he was just saying that, like, he would never do what FaZe and Tfue have done, and that he respects his players and everyone under the organization. And he thankfully is a good owner. He has no beef with anybody. And then right after that tweet, a couple days later, we see Nick Mercs leaving 100 Thieves. And it's just ironic because, like, if you look at the responses under that tweet, we see people saying, like, oh, this is what FaZe should have done for Tfue. And I'm just like, it's like nobody really notices, like, how, like, couple days ago. Like,
Alright,
Nate Chat was almost calling that shit out, and
So
then
here's
it
the
happens
tweet.
to him back.
I hope recent news doesn't affect the broader gaming community's perception of esports teams. There are plenty of organizations in the space whose top priority are their professional players and content creators. And for what it's worth, I'm personally friends with a lot of the owners and staff over at FaZe Clan. I know for a fact that the majority of them don't have ill intentions, but some at the organization don't understand the esports ecosystem and can take advantage where they can. That's a statement, especially
That's a
at the
direct
end.
tweet. That's a direct statement, from
Yeah,
Nate Shot.
it's on the screen from Dexerto. It's a screenshot of his tweets. Yeah.
And then the whole Nick Merckx shit happened, and that's how it's just ironic to me, like, and nobody mentioned it, and it's just like I don't know why nobody was mentioning it, because it's a big deal, technically, from we don't know the information. I'm not gonna call out anyone, until I see, like,
I mean, I can pretty much assume
receipts.
What happened. So Nick Merckx signed with 100 Thieves in 2016, way before 100 Thieves blew up. Way before 100 Thieves really hit their peak where they are now. 100 Thieves was Nade Shot's side dude for 100 Thieves. And then
This was also before they got any really, like, pure
exactly
invested.
Once they got that investment from Dan Gilbert in November of 2017, things changed. We could tell after that point, Nade Shot had to have a board. He had to have advisors. And clearly, either one of two things happened. Nick Merckx was included in those talks and didn't really know what was going on, didn't know how to handle it, or he wasn't included in those talks at all and he was pushed out. Nade Shot.
But the thing is, I don't even know why Nade Shot even offered him that, if that was even.
It's possible that Nade Shot in the beginning went, "Hey, I really want you to be a part of this team. I really want you to be a part of this ride. If you join and if you help grow this, I'll offer you some equity." Once Nade Shot went out, got the Series A, B funding and all of that, he probably didn't have the equity to offer. And that
it would have been very dumb
and
for him
that could
to
have been
offer in
part of
general.
and that could have been part of the reason why Nick was like, "You haven't taken care of me at all." Nick feels like he was done dirty. He feels like he was lied to. That's a big statement coming from one of the biggest orgs in the scene right now.
And ironic, I mean, I'm really surprised that Nate did not make a statement on this.
No, it's smart that he did. It's smart. This is drama.
I mean, he didn't bring
at this
attention
point.
to it.
Like, if Nick was to drop, like, contracts or stuff like that, yeah, okay. But this is just Nick's side of it.
Mm-hmm.
He really, like, he was really respectful about the way how he said things. He didn't shit on Nade. It was just his pure opinion on things.
No, I mean, definitely. I think that, like, this is one of those perfect case scenarios, and I'm sorry for going back to this topic, but, like, Tfue, for example, and this is something I just really don't understand, is why are players starting their own orgs? Like,
everybody wants to chase the Nade shot, buddy.
Right, but I think everyone forgets that 100. This is the second time 100 Thieves came. There was a first time for 100 Thieves. Remember, the very first time 100 Thieves launched. The very first time Nade Shot tried to make this org happen.
2015, 2016.
He picked up a whole Call of Duty team that
for AW.
Yeah, it fully flopped. He even threw some shit at his own team.
Yep.
Through his own tweets. Yep. And the org ended. And you know why that happened? Because he tried to do it all himself, and he does not have. Yep.
And then it was Blake Robbins who approached him and went, "Hey, I have a brilliant vision for this, and I think I could really help you sell it." Nade paid him, and here we are. Like, yeah, he got help from a fucking venture capitalist. Of course it
he gave it to a guy that understands business in and out. And that's why players should not be making orgs. Players do not understand the ecosystem the way that you need to understand it. You need to be, like, this is something, and I said this in the very first podcast, is that people can't just go into esports and think that they know it all. Like, they automatically just take what they applied in other industries and put it into esports. Esports is different. You need to be, live, breathe, eat in this industry to understand how to work in it. That's the way it is. And that's why, I mean, I just think it's really stupid, in my opinion, that Tfue's going to start his own organization. just because of the fact that he does not have the business experience, but that doesn't fucking matter because he'll just pay a bunch of people to fucking do it for him. But it's like, why? But why? So you want to start your own org, pay people to make it for you and be the face, but it's just because it's like, and didn't Tfue say he wanted to make money?
Yeah.
From doing this, like, but you're not gonna make money like that. That you're not looking for, like, again, this isn't a fucking, like, and I said this earlier, this isn't a 2-3 year investment. This is a 5-10 year investment.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't think his parents, I don't think Tfue understand that you're not gonna make this, you're not gonna put in $1 million and make $2 million back in a week.
Mm-hmm.
The way it works. He's gonna be spending mad cash on his staff to do what needs to be done in this company.
Infrastructure is fucking expensive, and people don't understand that.
Like,
not at all.
You can
especially
go to the podcast.
Especially for a legitimate org where you are paying them and you're not
full-time
going
salaries. You're paying full-time salaries.
You're not going, hey, I'll pay you $500 a month. No,
you're paying them 2-3K.
Yeah,
and
you're actually paying
paying
them a salary, and you're probably offering them benefits as well, and there's other perks included in that because you actually own a fucking business. Like, it's not. No.
Like, if you look at the podcast with Amanda and Edgar, there are discussions about, like, for example, like, if we want to reference the COD franchise, right? You're not just paying for the franchise spot. You're paying for the franchise spot, and you're paying for the general infrastructure. Like, that's why that's why when they said this, and I'm just gonna pull, like, a direct quote from my mind of the exact wording of this, but it literally says, and I quote, Activision is not looking for someone that has 20 million, 50 million, 100 million. They're looking for someone with more money, because you're not just paying for a spot, you're paying for the players' salaries, you're paying for the staff, you're paying for the infrastructure, you're paying to exist and function for the next 2 to 3 years before you start making your money back. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're paying millions to make your company work. I don't know why Tfue wants to start his own org. If he wants to just do that for her brand deals, he can do it personally. He doesn't need a fucking org to do it. It's just the same thing with Nick, like, the whole, like, 100 Thieves and Nadeshot stuff. Nadeshot got, like, even though I love 100 Thieves, that is one thing I've never liked about people, and it's something that I actually disliked about 100 Thieves, and it's still something that it's something I dislike. I'm gonna call it something I dislike about simplicity. I'll fucking say it, even though I'm not supposed to actually say that.
Wait, what?
It's that people, like, sometimes people get money thrown at them when they don't deserve it, and they didn't work hard enough for it. Nadeshot gave up on his brand. Nadeshot gave up on 100 Thieves. He stopped it. He gave up and stopped his brand. And he got lucky. He was in the right place at the right time with the right people in the right call to get that money to make 100 Thieves happen. That is it. He gave up on his brand. And no matter what,
I don't think it's fair to assume that. I don't think he gave up. I think he just kind of went back to the drawing board. Yeah, put it on the back burner.
That's the thing. I personally don't like that.
You know somebody who gave up on a brand.
Yeah.
I don't think Nadeshot did. I don't think that's fair. Me personally, biased in Otter side.
That's okay.
That's part of the reason why we had this podcast, is because we don't agree on things. So
yeah, but, like, that's just my opinion. I just think I'm just really tired. Like, even with publicity, like, this is something I won't just drop stuff on, because this is something that I know people at that organization. So I'm not going to drop shit. I'm not going to say anything bad on this podcast. All I'm going to say is that I just believe that they got thrown money at them, when in some reality, some of the people that are there don't deserve that money. Done. And I'm probably going to get some DMs from that, but it's my opinion. I mean,
we know Esports has a huge inflation in salary right now. For me, personally, it makes no business logical sense why a Call of Duty player needs to be making $20,000 a month when
they play COD.
No. When the amount of money they play for doesn't even equal their salary.
Oh yeah.
That
I
makes
mean,
no sense to me. However, some of these like Overwatch League teams and the League of Legends players where they get paid like 6 digits, I can understand that because they're under a franchised
yeah.
infrastructure that
Overwatch
guarantees them a
the next
yearly
year running
salary,
back
a
in the
bunch of other stuff, yada
experience.
yada yada. That makes sense. Um, and it's going to be even crazier because these salaries are probably going to be dropping next year if you think about it. Because the most a Overwatch League player makes right now is 150K a year.
I mean, that's the way it should be. I mean, honestly, I
And
mean,
the
it should be a little
most
bit
a Call
less.
of Duty let me pull it up right now. The most a Call of Duty player right now makes is $22,000 publicly.
Which is
That's
ridiculous.
John. That's John from LG. If you
Which is
times that by
ridiculous.
12, that means he's making $264,000 a year. The highest played Overwatch League player in a franchise league is making less than that.
No,
Almost 100K.
I definitely do think that the market is inflated. We talked about this in the first
Yeah.
podcast as well.
Yeah.
It's just this is just my honest opinion. I just think that like um I was looking at like what if I was an org
Mhm.
right now and I had let's just say $200,000 in total as
Yeah.
my budget, right? In my total as my total budget. How can I and I had a short span of let's just say a year. What can I do in 1 year to make the most progress, right? What games, if I wanted to go into and I don't think like okay, the most progress specifically with teams. What games can I go into right now? Let's just say let's just say a majority of like with the way that is how a lot of the biggest and best teams are already taken, right? What can I do right now to make that happen? And if you want me to be honest with you, that's such a difficult question. Because really, you're paying more than you're getting back no matter what game you go into at the moment, except for certain games. Like, I think, for example, I think Smite's a good game. I think Smite's a great game. You know why? Because you're not paying anything for Smite. Smite, like, you're breaking even in Smite. Because it's their whole system of how it works, right? So you're putting, like, they technically fund you to be in their league. Right? Like, there's just like so right now esports is in such a state where like it's so hard to find games that are worth putting your money in.
Mhm.
Like seriously. It's just like for example the Mountain Dew League right now. Like back in the day people were picking on Mountain Dew League teams like it was fucking candy.
Oh
And
yeah, I remember.
now nobody fucking picks them up. It's a waste of money.
Yep.
It's a waste of money even if it's dirt cheap. Like unless you got a top 2 team, it's a waste of fucking money. It's so hard to find games now to
Mhm.
invest in or teams to invest in that are free agents. One, and that will make your money back in either through promotion, either through a different form. Like you can't like in esports you can't just do teams anymore. That's it. That's just the way it is. Like I've realized that you can't just have the best teams anymore. That's not gonna make you fucking jack shit. Sponsors don't give a fuck about what types of teams you have anymore. It's how you use those teams. That's
Mhm.
what they care about. And if you don't use those teams or promote those teams or market those teams properly, they're not going to give you a penny fucking money. And that's the problem. So I just think that, like, I think that's why I think just it makes me laugh that Tfue wants to make his own org. He's just not. He's never going to make his money back. Never.
Mhm.
He's going to drop that shit so quick like it's fucking hotcakes. The reason why Nate shot it worked for him was because he got lucky. That's that. It's
Yeah.
hard to do that shit in esports now. But that's just a different topic. But yeah, so the Nick Merckx thing, it was just really, really funny. I think I just found it very ironic. I don't know, made me laugh about the whole situation. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the whole situation regarding those two topics. I know we keep mentioning that. My God, this podcast is going to be like 3 hours long.
Yeah, we're at 1:30.
Okay, do you want to go to the next topic?
Yeah, sure, let's do it. The next one.
This is the best one of the day.
We'll see. Denial Esports. So, I published a story, last week
It was such a good story.
on, Denial Esports. Let me bring it up now so I can show you guys. This was my first huge report that I've ever did, that I ever truly investigated, talked to sources, talked to players. and I thought it went pretty well. It got some good traction. Um, Definitely.
What were your analytics on that? By the way, for that?
Um, so
Okay.
the article got a lot of interest on Twitter. It got a lot of people talking, which is what I wanted. I just
Mhm.
wanted people to read and to listen. Apparently, the article got over 1,500 views.
Damn.
For a website that's not huge. That's actually not bad. But the
Mhm.
thing that I was really impressed with is that one tweet that I did. Um, it sparked over 1,500. Sorry, 150,000 Twitter impressions.
That's crazy, and that's just on a personal Twitter. That's not even from a
Um,
business Twitter.
yeah, and that's not coming from. That's not adding in all the other different chains of
But like,
conversations that were
mhm,
spread out from there. So it's
that's huge.
yeah, it did pretty well. I talked to the ex CEO of Denial, Zachary Smith. I talked to his lawyer. I talked to these players. I have talked to even some of the staff members who have dealt with Denial, and Zach Smith and everybody who's behind the Denial banner. And just as mad as you were over the Tfue situation and whatnot, this shit gets me mad. This gets me really mad. And I'm not even gonna lie. Part of the reason I wanted to write this article was because I don't understand how somebody can have the fucking audacity to purchase a tarnished brand just to do that shit again and worse. Like, who does that? And who thinks they can actually get away with it? And if I'm in the position to where I can help shine light on that, so these players don't keep on, or this organization doesn't keep on ruining people's lives, then I'm gonna do that. Because I've had my life almost ruined from organizations trying to take advantage of me. And I'm not even a
Mhm.
player. It's ridiculous. So, this article starts with me stating that Zachary Smith went to Robbie Rignalda, the old original CEO of Denial, and basically purchased all of their debts, and things like that. Denial did pay back some of the players. However, it's not as what it seems. And that's part of what this article describes, is that as soon as Zach Smith purchased Denial and all of the debts, they paid back settlements on the debt. They didn't pay back everything, they paid settlements. That's why all the numbers were blacked out from people. The next step is that he went and began allegedly illegally purchasing teams. So he would take interest in teams that were very poor off in real life, or they needed help in some way. If they needed to travel to an event, or they needed help with housing or something, Zach would take it upon himself to basically um, make false promises to these players. The first team that he purchased was the PUBG team. Um, that was I believe they were from South America, or sorry, South Africa. And then you have a combination of Gears of War and Echo Fox, and Ghost Gaming players. And then after that, you have, here it is, the South African Bravado Gaming CSGO squad. And then obviously you have the Call of Duty team, which was from France. A lot of these teams, when they were working with Zach, there was language barriers, so they didn't understand. So when Zach would say, "Hey, um, so legally you can't work in America. However, I agree to pay you $2,000 under the table." Um, we know that shit ain't ever gonna happen. but
Yeah,
these
that's
but these players are fucking 16, 17, 18, 19. They don't know. Um, they don't have lawyers. Again, their fault. They should have had lawyers. They should have had lawyers look over this stuff. It's their fault. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Zach knew what he was doing, and almost being a predator and going after these players.
I mean, he had a really good strategy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like,
Like, honestly, this is gonna
business
sound
smart
really
move.
fucked up.
Business
This is
smart
gonna be
move.
really fucked up. Like, the guys fuck when it comes to like fucking and like, people over and being like scamming. he's honestly he's a fucking mastermind. Like, good for him. Like, honestly, bro, I've never seen someone be able to screw over so many people in such a short amount of time, so quickly and so consistently. Like, honestly, that takes fucking skill.
He's smart.
Yes.
Yeah. So the next thing is, um, let's see. Yeah, you had the video from the two videos from Zach actually, where he went out and he made several comments using homophobic slurs and things like that. It was the first cracks that we began to see from Denial Esports. Um, those videos alone, they were disgusting. That was when I knew Denial was not on a good path, so to say. Um, just the amount of things
I
that
mean,
he
you knew that
said.
Denial was never on a good
You
path
can
because
you you,
had a
you can you
disagreements
can
with
read these quotes here. I'm not gonna say them just because of the words that he said. Um, but within more of the article, I have statements from people who worked closely with Zach and knew what he was doing, especially with the Call of Duty players, failing to give them visas, neglecting to pay overtime to esports. It's just a mess. It's a huge mess. Um, the only thing that has happened so far from that is that Zach stepped down from the day to day operations. So Blackbeard took over, and I believe it's
Okay,
Denial Oracle.
let me rephrase what you just said. Zach has publicly pretended like he stepped down from day-to-day operations, but he's absolutely doing every day-to-day operation under Denial. Still, that has not changed. We just not we haven't just publicly said that, but we all know that 100% that Zach is still practically the face of the company.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. So far
I'm
it
sorry for cutting you
is.
off.
No, you're fine. So far it has been Sir Scoots and a couple other people who have been tweeting them daily, asking for them to drop the player since they did it under deceiving. I'm gonna say a deceiving situation. But they haven't done anything. Denial's still running, still doing their same old shady shit.
I mean, thankfully nobody has signed into them as of recent, which is I'm thankful for at least that. Not
I'm
that I
hoping the
know of.
players know. I'm hoping that
I mean, this thing blew up.
yeah, it did, and it should have. And there's more to come out. There's more. Kevin Hitt already posted an article talking about players and visas and stuff like that. I can't like prove it or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure um like most if not all of Denial's players who are not United States citizens, they're probably here illegally. They probably don't even have the right visas because
I don't even think they probably even have visas. I think they're probably just here under like an ASTA,
yeah, under
which is less
whatever.
than
It's like
yeah. Which
$12.
means like yeah, it's $12 if which sadly I didn't do. You know, if you do it at the airport, it's a lot more. But it's $12 you sign up for. I had to do it to go to the States for my vacation. You apply. You have to have. So what it does is it goes through a process. If as long as you have no criminal records and everything checks out, then you get your ESTA. And what happens is that it allows you to stay in the country legally for a total of 90
Yeah, I was about
days.
to say 90 days. Yep.
And after that you have to leave the country, and that's it. But you have no like like obviously there's no regarding like contracts, those visas don't, those like the ESTA doesn't do jack shit.
Yeah.
It's just for you to be there legally, and mainly it's just the ESTA is used just so that like you're almost like they know who is coming in and out of their country, right? It's kind of what it's for.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the ESTAs last for like 2 years. So just like a little thing. I had to go through the process, so I know. But honestly, with the whole denial situation, um, and I was mentioning this earlier, this is another perfect case of players getting screwed over and not reading their stuff. I feel extremely bad for the person that exposed denial at first. We don't know the confirmation regarding this, but I am pretty positive that an org of that size makes every player sign an NDA. And I would just assume that the fact that he leaked this information, obviously he was not supposed to. He's probably having to go through so much legal backlash right now. If Zach is pursuing it, and we know Zach, and we know his history, and we know that he's done these types. He's sued people before. So honestly, I would not be surprised if he is pursuing legal actions against literally the 19-year-old kid that fucking posted this. He's gonna be paying that off for the rest of his fucking life, whatever that fee is gonna be. And I just feel bad. Like, it's one of those cases where, like, I feel bad, but, like, first of all, you can't do anything about it. That's the first thing. And second of all, it's just like, it's the fault of the players. It just like it's like players need, on top of players needing their like having like a manager or someone contracts, players need to do research about companies. Like, people need to, before you sign with an org, you need to do some research about who you're signing with. Zach has had some ups and downs in history, depending on how you want to look at what he's done in his decisions. I don't have a comment on that, as I just personally cannot really comment on it right now. But in reality, like, I don't have an opinion on Zach at the moment, and I will not. If I do, I will not state my opinion on the podcast. But all I have to say is, like, poor players. Denial really needs to figure out what they're gonna do. I really hope that Zach at least tries to fix his wrongdoings, but I don't think that's very likely, as he has honestly no legal obligations to do so. And I don't think Zach is the type of guy that wants to fix his wrongs.
No.
Just doesn't seem like the type. And to be very frank with you, it just upsets me. For one big reason, is I actually used to be a huge fan of Denial when I was a kid. Back in Black Ops 2 era, right?
I was about to say, OG, like, that Denial COD team was arguably one of the best Call of Duty teams.
Yeah. I really loved Denial at the time. I was always a big, COD fanboy. And it just sucks because I always thought, like, the name was really cool, Denial.
Yeah.
And
now
as
we
a
know
kid,
what
like,
it really means.
Yeah, now we know what it really means, and it just sucks. It's like, I mean, it's originally the fault of the original. But it just sucks that, like, the brand just can't seem to catch a break.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one owner after another. And in all honesty, like, if Zach was trying to purchase Denial, because I personally believe, and I could be very wrong about this, I personally believe that Denial was bought for the sole intent of buying something to then increase the profit of it and then sell it for twice of the amount that was purchased.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I don't believe that Denial was bought from the true, pure heart of a gamer wanting to create an organization and wanting to provide something for players and staff and designers and whoever else, content creators, to come on board and give them something that's going to change their lives. I think it was just a business move, and it was an expensive one. It was probably it's definitely way more expensive to start your own brand and build it from the bottom up than it was to buy. Yeah, and that's exactly what Zach did. And honestly, I don't really know who would want Denial after this. I'm just being honest. Like, usually, like, when things like this go down, I would say that the best thing that you can do is rebrand and try to start from anew. But Denial, you can't. No matter how many rebrands you do, you can't escape that, bro. It's done. The brand, that Twitter is just fucking flagged, man. That's it. You cannot get away from it. You can change your name 60 times. Everyone is always going to reference back what happened with Denial twice now. Yeah. It's just not escapable. Like, the brand really just needs to someone needs to dig a grave and put Denial in that grave and just bury it, and that's it. It just needs to be gone. Like, it's just gone. I don't know. So that's my opinion on Zach. That's my opinion on Denial. I wish the best for the players, but in all honesty, Zach's not going to let them go. So I hope that they at least, like something that I mentioned, this is gonna sound awful, but it would be really, really ironic if he would sue the player that announced and, like, leak this information and still make him play.
Yeah, it's one of those things with Denial. Something that really, really, really made me mad was that when Zach put out his statement saying effective immediately with effective spelt wrong, that he was not legally obligated to pay these players because they signed a declaration. I went to these players because I was in contact with these players. I was the one who's writing the story on their story for these players. And they trusted me to tell their side of the story. So I went to them and I asked them, because I asked them before. I was like, "Did you sign anything else?" No, 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 we didn't. I just saw their contract. I was like, "Okay, it's fine. Let's go." They didn't sign an NDA. I asked them, all good. So I asked them. I was like, "Did you sign this declaration?" They're like, "Yeah, we did, because Zach told us that MLG needed this paper or else we could not play." It's manipulative as shit. Um, I have the paper. It is extremely vague. That is something that denial does all the time, is that they have extremely vague contracts so that they can create these loopholes to work between. Um, Zach tried to be the good guy and spin the PR by saying that, "Hey, look, I don't legally owe these players this money. However, I'm going to set up an escrow account so that there will be payments to these players so that they can have their money." About as soon as that statement was released, I went to the players. I was like, "Yo, did you get an escrow account?" And their response was, "What's an escrow account?" Like, so that's a lie. And then I explained it to them. I gave them a description of an escrow account, and they were like, "No, we have never received any information on a bank. We have never received any information on an account. And we actually haven't even heard from Zach in X amount of days at that point." So, I mean, like, shit, that's rough. Uh, I don't know, like, what else the players can do at that point, because, like, they did legally sign papers stating that they could not earn money. Um, that's hard. I can't imagine being in that spot where, I mean, for one, yeah, it's unfortunate that um they signed these contracts and they were so excited that they signed them, and they should have, like, had a lawyer look over them. But I mean, you and I both know, like, I'm not ashamed to say it. Like, unfortunately, if I was to get approached by an org right now, I don't have $1,000 to $3,000 laying around to pay a lawyer. I don't have that. Especially for a good lawyer. Um, and I'm in a better spot than most of these kids. So if
Oh,
I don't
it's
have it, then they don't have it.
that's something that I do have to say. And it's something. Okay, like I'm just gonna give someone an idea if they ever want to try this. I don't know, but somebody like the problem with what I'm saying, and it is an issue, is that like I keep saying somebody needs a lawyer, somebody needs a lawyer. Lawyers are expensive. Lawyers are hella expensive, and honestly, like someone there needs to be. I really hope that we get to a point where we can lawyers become there's like lawyers that become more affordable
Hmm.
for everyday people, because in all honesty, like that's what I was saying before, I wouldn't be able to afford a lawyer right now, and I would still make I would honestly probably have to take out like some type of credit
Yeah,
or something
absolutely.
to afford
And
lawyer
that's what I mean.
pay.
I would have to go to my boyfriend, or I would have to go to my parents and say, "Hey, I need this money for
Yeah,
that."
like I would be able to do it.
I don't have 4 digits worth of cash laying around. I wish I did. I wouldn't be in the position I am right now, but here we are, and that's a fact of
Yeah.
life. Um,
So I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe we'll see that more in the future. Lawyers become, well, at the moment, I mean, it makes sense that they're
It's
expensive and whatnot.
hopefully I'm working on an article now where I'm gonna be talking actually you still need to reach out to her. I'm horrible at my job. But I
Actually, I
hopefully
need to talk to you about something about at the end of this
okay.
podcast.
I want to talk to an immigration lawyer, somebody who works with ESG law, Bryce Blum and all of them about Fortnite visas, because uh the Fortnite World Cup is coming up in blah 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 July. Some of these players will need a visa in order to travel to the United States and compete in this competition. If they don't do the proper, like, type of paperwork that they are supposed to do, then they're not going to be getting that money regardless of the fact that they win or not.
Really?
Even if you
I didn't actually.
yeah,
Wait.
no, dude, it's fucking insane. So think about it. Think about it. There is a 15-year-old player in Europe who already qualified, which means he is automatically entitled to $50,000.
Wait a minute. Whoa, whoa.
However, if that player does not have the correct visa when he comes to the
Wait,
United
I have a
States,
question.
yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. So, two questions specifically. One is, how long does it Okay, so once they qualify, right? Did Epic not? Is this on Epic's? Is this Epic's fault, or is this like the players not knowing?
Oh no,
Did Epic
I
give them enough time to be able to apply and get visas before they have to actually compete for the World Cup? Do
so
you know?
so from what I understand, I don't know about on Epic's side. However, for any other esport, it is usually the organization's responsibility to get you a visa. Some of these players aren't on fucking organizations, so they're not gonna know.
And these.
That's
Oh,
a
and
lack
Epic
at
doesn't
that
tell.
at that point. I
What?
think
And
it's a
Epic
lack of
doesn't tell you.
information.
And
Yes.
Epic doesn't. Epic should
From
inform
what I
all of
understand,
those that
from what I
qualify.
understand, please somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong on that, but from everybody that I've talked to, some of these players don't even know about it. They just believe they're buying a plane.
A plane
Okay,
ticket to
Epic
go.
set something out after they qualify. Okay.
Okay.
However, but okay, thank you, Whale, by the way. But if we take that logic, if a player qualified yesterday on the 26th, and the World Cup finals are, I believe, the
So it's
26th to the
Epic's fault.
28th of July, that
It
leaves
takes at
them
least
about
2 months,
two
doesn't it?
months. That takes about 2 months to get your visa. And with the current administration, you're not looking to get a visa for at least another four
For
to
the next 3 to 4
six.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's your life, and that's on top of that, like they do a lot of like background searching and checks, like it's and they do that for every individual that applies. Like it would like sometimes like especially like when it becomes like when it's close to holidays. Um,
Mhm.
I don't even know. That's crazy. And that's really on Epic's side. Epic should have accounted for this. I don't think they even thought about that. That's bad. They might honestly, if half of the your half of
That's
the
what Misfit
World
Click said.
Cup.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I'll reach out to Chris at Misfits. Let's see what he thinks about that.
Yeah, if half of the
Yeah,
fucking, if
that's
half of the World Cup can't, can't be there, half of the players that qualify for World Cup can't be there, then they
so
honestly they
here's
might
the
have to
thing.
reschedule.
They can play. They can play. They just ain't getting that fucking money. It's all gonna be a huge spectacle with none of the
So it's
players
gonna
walking
be
away with the money.
style 2.0, just on a grand scale of things.
I don't know about all that, but it's definitely worrisome. It's part of the
So
reason
they're
why
not obligated.
esports gets
Yeah.
a bad rap is that like I really don't think that's fair for you to say, "Hey, no, we told you needed a visa a week ago." That doesn't count. That doesn't. These people got to organize travel. They got to organize their flights. I'm sure a bunch of these players are gonna be boot camping on land on East Coast. Like it's fucking a lot, man, and I don't think that's fair. But I think that's part of the reason why it kind of like goes into that. Actually, we don't even have it on the topic list because we have so many topics. But Nate Nanzer leaving Overwatch League to go to Epic. Um, yeah,
Why? Because Epic can't do it themselves.
because Epic has no fucking idea what the hell they're doing with esports, and they
Oh
need
my god.
somebody. Um, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like
Esports is a
some of these
joke.
players competing and qualifying, they're like 15. They're not gonna. I didn't know what a visa was when I was 15.
Bro,
I'm not
you know
gonna
what?
lie. I don't know what that is.
Until I moved to Germany, I never really thought about visa. And I honestly, and I
Yeah.
just expected, like, it's really ironic. This is, and I want you guys to, you guys can make for this, but like, I always thought like, oh, you want to get a bank account done? Okay, you just go to a bank. You're like, hi, hello, my name is Vivian. I want to set up a bank account. And I thought they just click, click, clack. They just put in my info, like, my name,
Mm-hmm.
my address, my email, my phone number, and they're like, okay, and they just open up an account. No, no, no. And see, when I was younger, I would just assume that's the way you open up a bank account. Or like, I'm like, I didn't even think about like, oh, there's like taxes and legalities behind like moving to other countries and working, overseas and going and traveling to other places. I never really thought about it. Now I'm just like, holy fucking crap, everything is complicated on top of complicated on top of complicated on top. shit ain't easy. Like, when I was looking at visas for the first time, right, and I saw it, my eyes just went wide. I was just like, how the fuck do people do this? This system is ridiculous. And the system is ridiculous. But I'm just saying, like, it's fucking crazy. And honestly, they expect
I asked
kids
I asked my dude from Misfits
Mhm.
if the players got anything, because most of their players are in Europe, so he would know. But like for me to
Yeah,
reach
well,
out
like,
for like an American org, like they're not gonna really know. Like if I talk to my person from 100 Thieves, all their players are American. So
I know.
yeah.
So it's like, honestly, it's just like I just feel extremely bad. Again, it just esports is kind of a joke sometimes.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. I
it's just
absolutely love esports.
ridiculous.
I am ride or die esports. I will always be here for esports, but fuck esports sometimes, man. Like
Not
it
really.
it really did. Like I left the video game industry because I was so tired of the shadiness and the politicking and all of that went through it. And then I came to esports and it's fucking worse. It's so
Yeah.
much worse. But I'm so
Esports
much
has its
but I'm so much
shit.
more passionate over esports than I am just like regular video game news, information, whatever. Um
Mhm.
like I'm so much more excited to wake up each morning and write about esports
And see about
and
the tea and the
whatnot.
drama that's going
And
on in
then
fucking in
I mean,
esports.
yeah, that too, but like I'm so much more passionate over this than writing about the next technical specifications that's going to be in the Xbox 5. Like I don't that
Give
doesn't
a
really
fuck.
get me going anymore.
Mhm.
However, if
Okay.
you want me to talk about KSI and Deji, I got you. I can do that.
Well, we didn't even write that. We don't even have enough time for that
we
topic.
dude, we
Honestly,
there's so many things.
we need to talk about that topic next podcast because we don't have all of the information yet because KSI hasn't properly responded yet. So
He
hopefully we'll be
did.
discussing that in the next. He did.
He replied. He said I don't give a fuck. He's just using my
Oh,
name to get more. Like he's being really brushy.
I mean he's just not okay. I mean, all right. Did actually just out of curiosity, it's like I don't think we need to talk about. I still want to talk about the spring collection 100%. Um,
Yeah, that's the
that's
next.
something I want to
That's
cover before we get off.
yes. Okay, so this is we'll do that now. We're moving along a little bit. We'll go to 100 Thieves' spring collection.
But oh
Uh,
wait, I want to ask one question.
okay.
When Deji was in the 45-minute video, because I didn't watch it,
Yeah.
um, was Deji showing receipts of any sort?
Yeah.
He
He showed
was.
text messages from like him and his
And
parents and stuff.
it was really exposing the living crap out of like.
It was honestly more Deji just going like, "Yo, this dude has really been a dick for me all these years, and I'm kind of tired of it." Like, it wasn't really. He didn't really expose him for the abortion stuff or anything like that. It was, yeah. I feel for the dude, but at the end of the day, again, this shit really should be done behind closed doors.
It never is.
That's how I feel about it at the end of the day. So yeah. 100 Thieves Spring Collection.
Oh my god,
Um,
that's a mess on its own.
so I'm wearing Oh yeah, that was the other thing that they. Thank you, Whale. That was another thing that they that Deji and KSI, the whole thing for
Mm.
that was that apparently KSI pulled the same thing that happened with Logan and Jake, where he slept with like Deji's girl.
Maybe that's why they fought each other because they practically have the same history, bro, and background.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So okay, 100 Thieves Spring Collection. They
Do you
included
want to start? Do you wanna
several. Yeah, I'll just break it down real quick. They included a couple new pieces. You have the glitch tee here, which came in white and black. Then you have the anorak. Then you have your tri hoodie, and then you have your basic dad hat. Um, I was actually away on vacation when this stuff dropped. I was able to pick up the hoodie. I got the hoodie with shipping and everything included. It was about $110. Um, this is the most expensive piece of single clothing I've ever like bought.
Oh, we're gonna go into
My
once you
shoes.
stop.
I'm pretty sure like my shoes. Like I have Nike shoes, and I'm pretty sure those were like $90.
My
Um,
shoes cost me $70, and they are Nikes as
yeah,
well.
they're nice Nike shoes. I'm not a person that cares too much about fashion and things like that. But yeah, I wanted it. I really wanted it. I was away on vacation. I told you guys I wanted it. I was actually gonna pick up the Anorak too, but I legitimately did not have enough time. The shop
Okay.
was up for about 5 minutes, and I sat there
5 minutes.
for about 45 seconds debating if I wanted to get a medium or a large. I got a large because I
The
like bigger
fact,
hoodies.
the fact that you
Um,
had 45 seconds to debate is fucking astonishing.
I don't know how I did it. Like
No.
I felt anxious as I was sitting there because I was like, me sitting here figuring it out. I'm not gonna be able to get it. Like I really wanted the anorak, but the hoodie for me anyway. I'm gonna like pull back a little bit. The embroidery is clean as hell. It is heavy. It feels like a legitimate blanket. Like I'm sitting downstairs in a basement that's probably like 65 degrees right now, and I'm warm. The hood is huge, and I like big hoods. Like I can fit this over like my headset and everything. Um, yeah, it's really nice. I like it.
Mhm.
If this was any other brand, in esports, like if Optic was to drop this hoodie or Cloud9 or something like that, I probably wouldn't have got it because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Hundred Thieves fangirl. I love everything they're doing right now, and I wanted to support
Bro, I'm
them.
ready.
And I've been a fan of Nadeshot for a long time. However,
Mhm.
when I saw the price of the Anorak, my heart dropped a little bit because I know how many people wanted to pick up things in this drop, and they were a little on the expensive side. The
Mm.
I don't even know how expensive the T-shirt was. I didn't have a chance to look at it. I was actually gonna pick up a hat. I'm not even a hat person, but I was gonna pick it up, and it was $35. Um, and then with shipping, that's gonna mean it's a $50 hat, and no, I'm not gonna do it. The only other piece of Hundred Thieves apparel that I own is the 2019 jersey, and I'm never gonna wear it. That's a lie. I'll probably wear it to like an esports event or something. But I don't treat these as regular everyday clothes. I feel too anxious about it. Even like looking at the white on this hoodie right now, I see bits of like cat hair, and my cat's black, and it makes me nervous.
Mhm.
um, so yeah, all in all, everything sold out. The job did really well for them. Seems like everybody is getting all of their apparel and whatnot, and it's going good. Um, so let's hear your side on it, Viv.
Oh. Oh my God. I have a lot to say about this. And it's not positive things either. Um,
I know, me and
so
we have had nothing but positive things to say about 100 Thieves for a
100
while.
Thieves. You guys know, I am just like Amanda. I am a 100 Thieves fangirl. I fucking love 100 Thieves. I love the brand. I love the colors. I love the apparel. I love what they're doing. It's unique. It's different. It's exclusive. What makes them great is their exclusivity, right? You
Mhm.
really feel like when you have 100 Team merch, you're like in a community of its own, right? Like you are exclusive. Like what you're wearing is exclusive. You're
Mhm.
not gonna see everyone wear this type of stuff, and this is what makes you feel really good about wearing these types of clothes. Something that I want to mention before I get into this topic is the fact that a tactic that 100 Thieves executes very well, um, and it's something that it's like people nowadays, especially in 2019, I don't really care that much about fashion.
Mm.
You can see that
Me
by
don't either. Me neither. Honestly.
oversized hoodies and like lack
Mhm.
of anything. I don't really care much about fashion. I will never say I have ever dressed in a very pretty or nice manner. I just don't give a flying fuck. If you don't like me for who I am, then I don't really care. Um, but people love to spend a shit ton of money on expensive things and expensive brands just for that one word on the front of their shirt: Supreme, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, whatever the fuck it is. People spend money to have that, and that's what they want. They want to feel expensive. They want to wear something that's expensive. They want to have the opportunity to own something that not everybody owns. That's what people like. People like to be bougie. That's the way clothes are. And 100 Thieves really makes you feel like you're buying something one of a kind that nobody else has and you want it. And people like that. But this is something that I've like I said, I love 100 T merch. They really care about their merchandise. They're not doing it something that everybody else is doing, which is all copy and paste. But I personally do not own any 100 Thieves merch. And I'm a huge
that's
fan.
the thing, man. I was like, I said it in the chat, but I was actually like, if the shirts were like 25 a piece,
They were not.
I was going to get you, Jacob Words, one of our like friends from Esports, and Natasha a shirt. Like
Hmm.
that was legitimately like one of my things. I was going to get a hoodie, and then I was either gonna get an anorak or I was gonna get 3 shirts for everybody. Once I saw the price of the anorak, I was like, well, that's not happening. So I'll just get 3 shirts. I didn't have a time. I didn't have time to look at the price of the shirts or even the sizing or whatever because it was too late.
Too late. So
Um,
this is what's so
yeah.
I'll give you guys a step to step of why. So the website. So I signed up for it. I'll tell you from my perspective what happened. I signed up for on the website. Had the website all open, the shop ready. It launched a minute before actually the tweet was made, and it was at 7:59 instead of 8 my time, right? So it was literally so I was already able to go and put it into my cart. The moment the tweet was made, the moment it hit 8 o'clock, the moment I was about to go click, like I put it in my cart and saw saw like how it shows you like to go to the
There's a
purchase.
couple people who had their shit booted out of their cart.
Yeah, like the moment I was about to go, the website froze. Why? Because a mass amount of traffic was thrown into the website. It was unstable for the first 2 minutes. It was crazy. It was lagging. People were literally it was like a dog eat dog kind of moment. Everyone was fucking biting each other, ripping each other apart to get to the to cart fast enough to purchase things. The hoodies sold out in 2 minutes or a minute. Like the hoodies were sold out. Like in reality, people are saying it took them 5 minutes to sell out. I think it took them less. I think it took them 3 minutes or 2 minutes since the moment that the tweet came out to sell out of merch. I honestly, people were using bots. I heard to be able to get everything fast enough into their
Are you
carts because of
serious?
yes, because of how crazy it is. People are using bots to buy the merchandise fast enough, and get everything into their carts. It's fucking mind blowing.
Jesus.
And when I actually honestly I had a chance. I was already at the purchase part. I had time before the website froze to click purchase already, by the way. But the reason why I didn't do that, and um, this is something that I just thought, listen, I love 100 Thieves. I'm more than happy to spend a little bit extra hoodie or a shirt, but I refuse to spend the amount that they asked me to for these clothing. I had to spend. Now remember, this is coming from a European perspective, as I do live in Germany. I have to spend $100. No, was it $90 for a hoodie? $90, which
Yeah,
is
the
already
hoodie was 90
extremely
bucks.
overpriced for a hoodie, by the way. So I have to spend $90 for one hoodie. Then I have to, by the way, that's dollars. So all Europeans have to do conversion fees. So keep that in mind. So I'm doing a conversion fee for the dollars, which isn't a big deal, but let's just pretend. I'm gonna tell you guys the amount that it adds up to. So I do $90. Then I do the conversion fee from dollars to euros, or euros to dollars. Then I have to pay for the fee regarding the shipping, right? So that's another, by the way, the shipping was 20 to 30 euros.
Jesus.
So I'm paying like $90 plus another 20 to 30 euros plus the fee regarding the conversion fee plus the customs fee, which was I heard around 16 euros.
Oh my god.
So
So
I'm
yeah,
paying
you were
custom
playing
fee.
Jesus.
I'm paying customs fee.
If you were buying a shirt, you were almost paying more in like service charges than the actual shirt.
Right. So I'm paying for customs fee. For the customs fee, I'm paying for the shipping. I'm paying for the transaction fee regarding the conversions, and I'm paying for the actual hoodie itself. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna spend like 120 or 130 bucks for a fucking hoodie. That's mind blowing. That is inexcusable. And I heard that the shirts were even worse because the shirts, I don't know if, now I don't quote me on this because I don't remember the exact prices. I think the shirts were like 40 bucks.
Mhm. I thought it was 45.
And yeah, and people were paying $60 shipping or $60 shipping to ship it to Europe. People were paying more for the shipping for the shirts than they were paying for the actual shirt. Um, no way. I'm sorry. I love you, Nate Shot. I love your brand. I love your clothing. I was ready to spend. First of all, I didn't even expect it to be that actually this clothing line was the most the hoodies were never $90. I was expecting to spend a total of $90 on the whole set, right? A total. I was not ready to spend $130 for a hoodie in practically spring and summer. Like, it's hot as fuck right now. I'm not gonna spend $120 on a hoodie I'm gonna
Yeah,
in a couple of months.
Yeah, like I love hoodies. That's the reason I bought it. Also,
No, I
it's
do
really
too.
it's
That's
really
what I
cold.
wear.
It's really cold, like in the basement where I live, and that's the only reason. I personally did not like the glitch tees. I would have gotten the tees if I liked it. I didn't like it.
But like,
Yeah.
it's $90 for a hoodie. Then it's $45 for the shirts. Then it's $100 or $110 for the other. Like, what was it? What was the other thing called that they had? Like
Mhm.
the coats or whatever the fuck they were. I don't even know what the fuck they were. Um,
The
those were 100 and
Anorex. They were
yeah, those were
110.
$110.
Mhm.
Now imagine 110 plus custom fees, plus conversion fees, plus shipping, plus the actual item. That's fucking crazy. It's not acceptable, dude. I'm fucking fed up with it.
Yeah,
I
you know those
understand.
prices aren't going down either, right?
Hell
If
no.
anything,
And
they're
the
gonna
worst
go
thing
up more.
And the worst thing of all is they're gonna go up more. They have an
Mhm.
insanely small stock of items, which is fine. It's understandable. But the issue is something that I found extremely disrespectful. Well, not disrespectful, but like extremely unfair and ridiculous, is the fact that they have a resale website.
Yeah,
So
they're
that's
partnered with
StockX,
StockX now.
and the resale website sells these hoodies and shirts for instead of $110
Oh,
for
they're like, oh,
240,
they're like
$300.
300 right now, bro.
Fucking crazy. So if you want to even have the opportunity, so if you're not capable of buying the merchandise, if you don't have $120 to fucking spend on these jerseys or hoodies or shirts or clothing or anything, and you want to buy these, maybe like once you have collect a little bit more cash, or you weren't able to be there on time, or something happened, or the website crashed, and hundreds of people, like for example, hundreds of people wanted to spend this type of money and couldn't. If you want to get this apparel, you have to spend $300. Be ready to spend $250 to $300 for these shirts and hoodies. And I just think it's ridiculous. Like I understand that, like, and yeah, well, I agree. Like people are buying this stuff, but I'm just saying, like, it's the same thing with loot boxes. We all disagree on the loot boxes, but people still buy them. People still purchase loot boxes, right? Same thing. Like I think these prices are ridiculous, but fanatics, real true fanatics of this org, right? Because a lot of people like 100
Yeah,
Thieves, right? It's the new
let me
craze.
check. What the resale? Oh, everything's going down. Okay, so the 100 Thieves tricolor hoodie right now is 214, and the Anorex 223.
214 for something you could have paid 100 and which still you would have paid 120, 130. That's I don't know, maybe it's just me being biased or something. I maybe just because I don't have no money, so you know. But like I just feel like it's a little bit ridiculous. Like it's always like this. And again, this is from a European perspective. I don't really know how it feels like from an American perspective regarding buying clothing from 100 Thieves, but for me, this is the same issue I have with G Fuel, for example. Like, in all honesty, like if you want to buy G Fuel, right? You want to buy, let's just say, like there's a buy one get one free sale. So you buy two
Mhm.
tubs and like a shaker cup. I have to spend, what was it, like $16 on shipping?
Yeah, that's why I bought the stuff for you at PAX because it was so
Yeah,
fucking expensive.
which thank you by the way.
Mhm.
But like $16, so I have to pay the $40 or like the $50 plus a $16 fee for shipping plus a conversion fee from euros to dollars. That's ridiculous. Like that's why I don't buy G Fuel. I don't. And they have a website that they have announced which they partner with for European stuff, and that it's easier for Europeans to buy stuff, but that doesn't offer you all of the range of the products that they have. Like let's just say you have 30 flavors, let's just pretend. They cut that into like 10 flavors on the actual European website. You don't have options. You have a certain amount. It's just not
Probably got to
okay.
stick to like guidelines or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. It's really frustrating. If you want to appeal to everyone, I just think that first of all, the shipping, you need to figure something out. I know it's not really dependent on it's dependent on who you're working with, your supplier. And since they're partnered with Champion, that's not going to go down, right? Because Champion's not going to lower their shipping prices, correct? But or whoever the Champion works with as their whatever the fuck, however it works. But if you can't lower the shipping cost, you should lower the cost of the actual apparel. I think it's way too overpriced.
Yeah.
And this is something I'm sorry I don't agree with. I think it's way too much money. I think that hoodie should have been $60. I think the coat, whatever the fuck it was, should have been $80 total max. I think the shirt should have been $30. The hat should have been $15. Basic standard. I know it's an exclusive amount of apparel.
Yeah, they wouldn't have made money on it then because of the quality of everything. Apparently, the quality of everything's really nice. Yeah, like in the hoodie itself, let's see if I can actually like show it. So there's a bunch of really custom stuff for this, the tags or whatever. They're all like 100 Thieves custom honor among
I don't
thieves.
believe that they wouldn't have made as much. Just they wouldn't have made as much.
There's the tag in the back. I can't really show that because like I don't have a shirt on under this, to be honest. But there's all the stuff on the back is custom except one tag that says it's made in Vietnam. Yeah. Like it is heavy. The quality is nice. Like I said, if it was any other company, and honestly, it was more of an impulse buy. I already set money aside in my PayPal, and I told myself I was gonna buy it. So yeah, but it's a thing. People using bots or whatever. It's the typical hype beast, fashion community with shoes and all of that other stuff. I won't understand it. I'll never understand it. But I also understand it's not my demographic. So
yeah, I mean, regardless, like. I mean, good for 100 Thieves. They're making money. It just really sucks because people like me, I will never spend that money. Like, even if I have the money, I really would not spend that much money. Especially since, like, I mean, it depends. But I feel like just because of that, like, same thing with loot boxes. Like, I want fancy things, but I'm not gonna spend the type of money to support something like that. I'm sorry.
all right.
Like, just sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would love to have their approach. Trust me, I would fucking.
Yeah,
I would frame that.
Here's the other
But I
thing
just
too:
don't wanna-
is
I
that
don't wanna pay for that.
it's either you pay that money in the beginning, and if you don't have the money, that's it, because the resale is 2 or 3 times it.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, honestly, I have the option of either buying it or not, and I would fucking love to have 100 Thieves. Like, I have the sticker that you gave me.
Yeah.
Like,
Mine's on my PC.
I haven't put it on anything yet because I want to wait to like have something that I 100% want to have the sticker on because I'm gonna keep a sticker for the rest of my fucking life. I'm being serious. Like,
Oh,
I
as soon as I got the the jersey and I saw the sticker, I was like, oh, this is going to Viv, 100%.
Yeah.
I sent
Like,
it to you.
I love 100 Thieves. I would frame their stuff. I would definitely have a framed jersey, or I would frame their. I would be my fucking prized possession. But I don't want to pay $140 or $130 for something like that.
Yep.
Just not my fucking jam. So that's just
All
my
right.
opinion.
Let's take another quick 5-minute break, and then we will dig into more of the fun stuff. But FlyQuest announced their FlyQuest Flywear women's line, which we've been asking for.
Have we seen any pictures of that yet?
Yeah,
or
it's
is
up.
It just...
I have it up on the
Oh shit!
thing, and I also have the link.
Let me see the link. I actually have not seen the clothes yet, so we're getting first impressions.
So yeah, they're definitely like very like women oriented. They're very classy. The crop hoodie and stuff like that I like. The sports bra is kind of weird just because like I wouldn't really know how it would like fit me. But like besides that, like everything, like I'm down for it.
Honestly,
The leggings are a little expensive.
Oh yeah, fucking $70 for leggings is
Even the
ridiculous.
hoodie should probably just
Even
be
the hoodie.
50.
I'm not gonna lie though, like see, I don't have, I actually like all this. I don't really have an issue with it. I do like the fact that not all of this like something that I really want is on top of just having normal women's wear, like when you have like you know how there's usually like unisex like hoodies and
Mhm.
shirts and things like that. I just like even as simple as just having the option to just pick female or male because it makes a difference.
Mhm.
Like it really does. Because like people like me who have bigger boobs, buying unisex clothing just doesn't work for me.
Yep.
I need it to be specifically for women. So I would just wish it was like this plus that, but I'm very happy with it. I don't really see an issue with it, except I do think it's a little bit too overpriced in the leggings and the crop hoodie.
But
Um,
the thing for that, for me personally, and the only reason why I feel this way is because I'm a woman, is that 50% of proceeds go to Women for Women.
okay,
So
that's
I'm
cool.
I'm okay for that. But
The only other thing that I don't like is I am not a fan of stomach. Um, I like the fact that they have the baseball tee. For someone like me who doesn't want to show off half my fucking stomach, to the entire universe.
mhm.
Because not every girl likes to show off skin.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem, but I'm just saying, like, I just don't want to show off my stomach specifically. I'm like, like I'm, like doing like 4XL. You know what I mean? I don't want to fucking see everyone see my fucking 30 fucking 5 fat rolls on my sides. I just prefer if I could just have non-stomach clothes. So that's just my opinion. I do like that they offer one option for that. But hopefully they add more variety. But then for a first time start, I do think that it's a really good way to go start. That's it. I think it's a good way to start,
Yeah.
especially since a lot of people have been trying to do this and practically almost everyone has failed. Um, so good for FlyQuest, man. I wonder how they'll continue from here, and what types of designs they're going to produce. I'm also curious. I would really love to see how many women actually purchase things from the site. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
Uh, Maybe I don't know. I wonder if they'll release anything like that. I don't think they will, but I might just like look around on Twitter in like a month or two and see, like the tweets about people buying it, showing it off. I just want to know how many women are behind this. How many women actually want sports like esports clothing?
Yeah. A lot. I mean, I know a lot. I believe one of the women, Sabrina, I believe from 100 Thieves, is working on her own thing. Women have been asking for it for a while, and it's finally
Mm.
been women at FlyQuest who were working on this, so they know exactly what we want, and that we don't want fucking esports cheerleading dresses.
So
Like,
pretty much that like actually women make female clothing and
yeah,
not males.
yeah. It
Oh,
was
that's a shocker.
right. It was actually women who worked on this line, and because of the line and the proceeds, they're going to be sponsoring 5 women to go through like classes and whatnot to
Yeah,
help
I mean,
in like esports. So like, it's a good.
it's a good
It's
start. It's a
for
good
yes,
start.
yes,
It's a good
yes, and
cause.
that's I'm okay for that. I'm completely okay with
Hmm.
that. Um,
Okay.
hmm.
I don't really have anything else to say about it, to be honest with you. Like, I really want to see how they do
Yeah,
after
no,
this.
it's fun.
So. But
All
good for
right,
FlyQuest for you guys. If you guys are watching this, you probably aren't, but let's just pretend, congrats.
we're proud of you. All right, so um, the last big topic that really broke today. So Hector dropped the Eavesdrop podcast that we've all been waiting for with Hitch, talking about everything that's been going on with Infinite, Immortals, Optic, all of that bullshit. A lot of stuff was revealed in this podcast. I still have like an hour left, but I will bring up a couple articles that were written by Dexerto.
By the
Um,
way, I'm not educated about this topic for everyone watching, so please bear
yeah,
with
so
me.
I'm actually going to be giving Viv like the hello midnight. I'm gonna actually be giving Viv the TLDR since she hasn't had time to watch any of this.
Mhm.
So, the first thing, that was really like targeted in the podcast was really talking about, can you not chew on my wires, Midnight? Come on, come on. I know.
Aw, I just heard her.
um, how immediately once they started realizing that things were going to be changing, they were going to be moving to Texas and everything, things were not as they seemed at all. They had this perception of something that was going to be happening with Optic once it was purchased and Infinite Esports was created, yada yada yada. That did not happen. We obviously know that because we all went through 2018 together. Um,
Hmm.
but obviously they talked about the whole Tfue situation, yada yada yada, and they were on Banks' side and FaZe Clan side, obviously. And then they talked about the Nick Merckx falling out with 100 Thieves, which we talked about. And per quote from Dexerto, knowing Nade for as long as I have, there's no way I can offer an opinion other than the fact I'm on Nade's side. Hold on.
Bro, you gotta stop
I
sneezing.
know.
Oh God, what you doing? Bless you.
I think that's it. Alright, I think we're good. Um, that line alone is very hypocritical. That's so hypocritical, and that I don't even think it's fair to even comment on the situation if you're gonna say something like that. There's no way I can offer other opinion than the fact that I'm on Nade's side. So you don't even know the situation between Nade and Nick Merckx, and you're already like, nope, I'm on his side.
Taking someone's side. That's just
Um,
friends.
it is. Um, like that's so hypocritical. That's so ridiculous. Especially there's been other shit that's been happening with 100 Thieves, or not sorry, 100 Thieves, Optic, and Hector comes out and says shit, and then yells at people for talking about things that they don't talk about. Like, especially with everything that happened in 2018. Like, for me,
I mean,
that's throwing a rock at a glass house.
bro, the thing with people is just everyone constantly jumps to conclusions before actually like, and I mean, I'm not gonna fucking make myself seem like a high priest. I've done the same thing. Like, I automatically like take someone's side or jump to conclusions about a situation. I don't post about it though. I like to keep things. I don't post until after I know all of the information to
Yeah,
fully like say my opinion. But we talk in the T chat all the time.
that's why.
Um,
That's why I didn't really publicly say anything about the Tfue situation until I heard everything, and even then, we
yeah,
don't even
same.
know
I didn't make
everything.
I didn't make all the tweets about. I didn't make that tweet until
No,
after
a
everything
lot of
was
the shit
done.
that I was talking about, it was honestly when it was online, it was private and with you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just, and this is one of those. I feel again, we just don't know the situation, but we're just gonna take someone's side right away.
Yep.
It's what
Um,
people are. It's kind of annoying, but you can't really
and
fix
the
that.
next thing that they talked about was that Hector feels that it seems that he feels like he and his team, either being Hitch, Aaron, Create, Big Time, or whatever, they have saved Infinite from making poor decisions for the Optic brand. And one of those poor decisions was that Infinite wanted to drop the Call of Duty team. Um, and this was back in late 2017.
A
Um,
one prime example of them not knowing what the fuck they're doing, but
and Hector says, quote, "How many times did we save Infinite from the beginning?" Hex asked Hitch. "We're only going to talk about the one, where they tried to drop the Call of Duty team. There were contract issues, but it wasn't the contract or their players, but the people they were represented by that was the issue. Because of that external factor, they had nothing to do with the players. They had to get to a point where they didn't want to deal with that anymore, so we're going to have to let them go. So I go in there and I said there's nothing to talk about. We're not dropping the Call of Duty team, period. I don't give a fuck. We're not dropping the team. If they leave, I leave, and everybody else leaves." Hex concluded, "I remember telling them step by step why what they were doing was fucked up, and they thought, finally, this is how we get rid of him. Twice they tried to get rid of me. I continued to be a pain in their asshole for the rest of time." Um, yeah,
bro, I cannot. The
that hasn't
fact.
been known. I do not believe that has been public, but I've known about that for quite some
No.
time.
But but
From
the thing is like they're like, oh, finally we can get rid of him. But I don't like. First of all, your whole like the whole organization, like Optic Call of Duty is Optic. It's not Optic COD. It's Optic. Like when you look at their COD team, you're not like, oh man, that's their Call of Duty team. You're like, no, it's Optic Gaming.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Like like the Optic's whole practically not their whole branding, but like their whole the company practically revolves around their COD players. Like
Yeah.
they're known for Call of Duty. That's where they started off. That's where their roots. That's their home. That's where their biggest fan base is, right? That's the largest community. Imagine like let's just say like you have a let's just take 100% of like let's just say take 100 fans, right? For Optic Gaming. So Optic Gaming has 100 fans. I would say about 70 of those fans come from Call of Duty. So you're removing 70% of your fan base for what? Because you want to get rid of Hex? Well, you remove the Call of Duty team. That's a huge portion of your fan base. You're removing practically like Hector would have taken everyone from content away from them. He would have taken himself from the company, right? He would have removed himself. That's a huge loss. It's not even then you're practically just buying the name and the fucking like the socials. That's it. And honestly, like I mean, that's still really like that's still worth something. But I'm just saying like you're removing the whole identity of the brand.
Mhm.
So what? Then you could just buy any brand then.
Come on. Midnight.
It's just stupid. It's just frustrating.
It is.
I feel so bad for Hector because honestly, like Hector just sold it to the wrong people, man. It's just he just gave it to the wrong people. I
Yeah.
really think that um I think that Hector didn't really think it through as much as he likes to say, and I don't as much as he wants to admit because I feel like Hector does have a big ego, but it's a deserved ego. And I think his ego and his pride like, will just not allow him to admit that he made a big mistake,
Come on.
and that he shouldn't like he wishes he could take this mistake back, and
Oh
this is
yeah.
like was gonna ruin the rest of it, not the rest of his life, but this like
Oh
everything
no,
he
it's
has
not gonna
built is
ruin the rest
gone,
of his life,
guys.
but it's probably gonna ruin his career in
His
esports.
esports career.
Mhm.
That's it. He's gone. He's not coming back.
Yeah. The things with like within this podcast or whatever, you could tell from the beginning it wasn't gonna work. Oh, Matt, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Oh, and Adam Fitch, thanks, bro. I appreciate you. Um, the thing, like I said, I'm only like an hour and a half, an hour into this podcast. The things that I have heard, uh, very like I don't know these people personally. I don't know what truly is going on behind closed doors. The only things that I do know are the things that are public and the things that I've been hearing from my one source close to the situation. Um, Obviously, I'm not going to say like who is my source. I'm not going to say how they're connected to the situation because this story is huge. I don't want anything happening to me, and I don't want anything happening to this source. Um, Optic is going to be gone.
It's confirmed.
After this week, the 31st,
Hmm.
it's not going to be a thing.
So it's confirmed.
Like
You have full confirmation.
we'll say that, yeah, from a source who is close to the situation, who is basically sitting at that table with the big guys. The table that Optic J and the table that Optic Hex aren't even invited to.
Hmm.
This person's there. Um, Take that as you will. That's all I'm gonna release about this person. There's a reason why I'm not publishing this. Some outlets are not comfortable with me not naming my source, and that's perfectly fine. Um, However, I feel comfortable in this source. Um, the reason why these outlets, specifically ESPN, has been saying that, like, you know, this is going to be decided by May 31st. That's the big story by ESPN. Is that May 31st, May 31st. The reason why it
Damn
is
that
May.
booty shake.
Dude, I don't know why that's on my timeline. I'm so mad. Everything was going fine until that happened. Is
Right,
that
anytime.
there's a yes, thank you, Adam Fitch. Yeah. May 31st is because there is a banknote on Optic Gaming for 30 million, or sorry, $20 million. If you guys do not know what a banknote is, I'm bringing up a website right now. A banknote, also called paper money or bills, is a form of bearer promissory notes issued by a bank and payable on request. Banknotes are legal tender and can be used to settle any and all debts. This
Why
bank,
can't they just dumb it down to it's you have to pay this? It's bad.
yes, it's essentially what it is, but people don't understand that. So, if Hector and, say, Chris Cheney, whoever it is, want to issue a offer for Optic Gaming / Infinite Esports, we'll say it's a number. I don't know what exactly is what they offered, but say $25 million. Immediately, that offer is already $5 million. It's a negative $20 million. Because on May 31st, that $20 million needs to get paid. And if it does not get paid, it is a collateralized bill, which means things from Optic are going to be taken away by the bank. So, Optic or whoever, Immortals, whatever, does not pay this bill by the 31st of May, we'll say the Overwatch League is getting taken away by the bank. That would be the worst PR storm in the world. Optic doesn't want this out. That's part of the reason why not many companies have stepped forward trying to purchase this, because there's already a $20 million debt on this company, and it has to get paid in 5 days by Friday. I personally do not, I could not, and it seems like it will not be a circumstance where Hector is going to be approaching some of his buddies or whatever for money, because who's going to be able to get multiple millions of dollars in 5 days? I don't think people understand how money works, is that these multi-million dollars, these millionaires, they don't have access to all of their money right then and there. It takes time to either transfer it out from other accounts, if they have equity in businesses, the investments. An investment within stocks alone takes between 5 to 10 business days. So therefore, you're already on a time crunch. Like, if anything, Immortals is the one who's going to be coming in and saving them, because they don't have the cash to pay that $20 million note off. And it's collateralized. So if they can't pay it back, shit's getting taken.
Right.
That's tough. That's fucking tough. So no wonder why Immortals came in and was like, yeah, no, we'll do this. Like right now, but we need this, and this. Because regardless of the fact that they're going to be paying, these tens of millions of dollars for the brand, they also got to shell out another $20 million for this other thing. That's crazy. No wonder why Hector is so upset. It seems like him and/or Infinite made some horrible business decisions. They're coming back to bite him in the ass, and unfortunately, because of that, it seems like the Optic name is going to be gone.
Rip Optic, dude.
Like, the Optic team is probably going to get sold, because again, from my source, Immortals not interested in Call of Duty. They don't want to pay the franchising fees for next year. So our beloved Call of Duty team that everybody asks, what time is Optic playing? That might be another org. Not might, it's going to be another org. Let's see, Immortals already owns a Overwatch League spot. So they gotta sell that. You see where I'm going here?
Honestly, I feel incredibly bad for Optic, and I've not even I just feel bad for Hex. Honestly, poor Hex, dude. He had the entire empire that he built.
He made decisions with people that were too similar to him.
No, honestly,
I think that's what it was, is that he needed people around him that went, no, this is a really bad decision, and we're gonna do this, and this. Or somebody should have had the balls to step forward and be like, yo, we fucking agreed that we were gonna have apartments in this city. Why the fuck are we having smaller apartments in this city? Or you do your research and you don't sign something that is going to completely change your company. He said in the podcast, he walked into the offices saw that there was what is it, an allegiance and an obey flag, and he was like, "Why the fuck are these other teams' flags in my offices?" Well, because you
Mhm.
signed the contract and you agreed that all of this new stuff was going to be made. Go like it doesn't matter the fact that those things were clearly way too much money, expansion was way too fast, and they didn't have the capital to pay all these people to make sure all this stuff actually worked. Um, but this was clearly all talked about.
I mean, at the
Like
same time,
this
I
kind of
don't.
goes into the whole thing with Tfue and FaZe. Like, if you don't completely understand an entire deal, don't do it. If you don't understand what's going on, get people
I
that
don't.
understand that are going on. And another thing is that apparently this deal from who is it? The person that runs Infinite. The person who invested in them. MLB
Mhm.
Rangers. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But apparently there were bigger offers on the table. More money. And Hector said no. Because his vision aligned more with Neil Lieberman's, I believe is his name.
No,
So
I think
that's
that I think that
shit's about to
um
get. I'm me as an Optic fan. I don't agree with some of the decisions that have been made. But I'm probably gonna be wearing black all day on the 31st or whenever somebody actually breaks a story when it's official, because I don't know when it's gonna be made official. I know it is before May 31st. It seems like the two people who have been like owning the story is Adam Fitch and ESPN. So I'm gonna assume it's gonna be one of those two that breaks it. Um, and at that point, it's gonna be bad. Nobody, no, I've talked to a couple people over at Infinite who work for Infinite, who work for Optic, like as staff members. They don't have any fucking idea what's going on. No idea. There's apparently some people over there just packing up their shit just in case something bad goes down. There's people.
which already
There's looking.
practically did.
Yeah. There's people looking for jobs already. Um, it's sad. It's really really sad. But at the same time, there have been so many experts out there in the community that have been saying that a market correction is coming, and it's a hard fucking market correction. We've
Well,
seen it with
I
Echo
mean, like,
Fox. We see it like was we first saw it with Echo Fox, and then there was another company uh, that lowered their staff. Not Infinite, but another huge company. I can't remember who. And then you also had all those layoffs and whatnot at Activision. And then now you have this shit going on with FaZe where all the contract shit's coming to light. And then now you have this optic shit where you see what happens when I wouldn't say necessarily bad business deals are made, but a business deal that didn't come to fruition. Um, People do not really understand how esports organizations make money. It is extremely hard to make an organization that makes money. Even if you break even, you're lucky. Um, Most of these orgs that are closing, you're going to see a lot more orgs closing within the next year due to all these franchising, prices bumping up everything, player salaries being way too overinflated. And that hard market correction, it has to happen. It needs to. And it's really fucking unfortunate as a console esports fan, I would say, that it has to be Optic Gaming. That's the one that has to be the one to make that correction. Um, and the fact that so many people's lives are going to be changed from it. I mean, shit. The people that we've loved and that we've like learned to like almost watch over. Like I feel like almost protective over these Optic players. Especially some of the content creators who I've come to almost feel like I've formed a relationship with them, even though I've never met them. Like, of course we're gonna feel some sort of way. Like, what the fuck are you doing to our people? You're just kind of stabbing
mhm.
them in the back for a business deal. But at the end of the day, there is no way Optic was going to keep on succeeding the way that they are, or the way that they were before going the way they are now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You can clearly see everything is weighing on the Call of Duty players. You can tell that the content creators and people working for Optic, they're fucking drained. They are tired. They are exhausted. And that is not a way to run an organization at all. Um, and everything on my timeline right now is just old and current players from Optic tweeting themselves in their jerseys, and like, it's sad. It's really sad. But at the end of the day, there are repercussions for choices. And sometimes ego is the
No,
death of a company.
it's just the thing that really upsets me the most with this whole situation is like, Optic has been around for such a long time. Hex has made so many decisions over his course, his whole career, and one decision, one decision, this one decision completely ruined his whole company. One decision, man. Hundreds and hundreds of decisions, hundreds and hundreds of like thousands of hours of blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I mean? And one wrong move, and you lost it all. That's the thing that, like, out of everything, that's what makes me so sad is all of his hard work is just gone, dude. It's gone.
Yeah,
And he
it doesn't seem
didn't even
like.
have a proper goodbye.
Oh my god, this week's just gonna be crazy. It's gonna be insane with everything that has happened from the fucking Tfue shit. Like, I have a feeling there will be something that pops up in the community this week, something new. I don't know what it'll be, but I don't know, man. But Jesus Christ, we're almost at 3 hours. If anybody has any questions in the chat, that would be the time. We're gonna try and wrap
Yeah,
this up.
Vivian needs to just be done with this, but I need to. Whew.
Yeah,
I've been
but
so
yeah. So as of right now, as it stands, Optic will not be a thing. It's really sad. It's really unfortunate.
I'm curious what's gonna happen.
Unless
like,
from what I understand, it's a done deal. It's done. It's over. There's nothing he can do to save it now. Like, the paperwork's been signed. So it's all up to the lawyers now to approve everything, and then it's yeah.
no, I just want to know, like, what's gonna happen next week, bro?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
drama's coming out left and right. Things are being leaked left and right. You know how it is with drama, one after another. That's how it works.
Mhm.
So I'm actually kind of excited to see what's gonna happen next week. I mean, we talked over 3 hours because of the amount of crap that's been going on. I have a feeling that we're probably gonna have to just take an hour just to talk about the optic stuff next week. Like, it's gonna be fucking crazy. So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. It was very long. I'm slightly, like, partially dying right now.
Yeah,
I need some
like
sleep.
I need to watch the rest of this video,
Too much tea.
and
Too much
then
tea one day.
honestly, like, a part of me is just kind of like tempted to just kind of sit here and just watch it live, because like, I know I'm gonna have shit to say, but on the other end of things, I also need to go write this article on the thing that I just, like, announced. So yeah, but
Girl, you could just, like, end the podcast, write it, and then if you have time, or like tomorrow, like, just, like, restart the stream and just, like, talk about it if you
yeah,
want.
I actually, like, work tomorrow, but we'll figure it out. I don't know, but yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Esports Chat number 7. I'm Panda. Also, thank you very much to Viv for tuning in
Hi.
and talking with us this week. It was actually really fun, especially since we had, like, different opinions on certain things. You sitting there
let's disagree more, please.
Yeah, you sitting there ranting about hoodies and shit while I'm wearing said hoodie. It's great. But
Shit. Next week I'm gonna cop out and buy myself a hoodie. Just
yeah,
watch.
right. Viv pops on. So I bought the hoodie. You know that's $300, right? Don't judge me.
Fucking worth it.
Don't judge me. All right, guys. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great Memorial Day. And yeah, until next time. Bye, guys.
See you guys. Bye.